paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people. They're a bunch of Christian murderers scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, we love Satan, we wanna eat babies. I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good, oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. I said certified freak. 7 days a week. Wet ass P word. Make that pull-out game weak. Yeah, you effin' with some wet ass P word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word. Give me everything you've got for this wet ass P word. Beat it up, N-word, catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this P word right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top, I wanna ride. I do a kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This P word is wet, come take a dive. It continues along these lines. And it gets significantly more vulgar. Like, a lot more vulgar.
I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. My children aren't going hungry. I'll do it. I'll drink your blood. And I'm starting to think about having to eat my neighbors. You think I like size it up? I'm gonna haul him up back chain. Chop his ass up, size it up. I'm gonna haul him up back chain. Chop, 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 chop. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I'll barbecue your ass flat. I will cook your ass up so fast, and I'll tell them, "Oh, I killed a cow out back, baby." You think Christ would eat somebody? He would never do that. I will. I'm ready to hang them up, gut them, and skin them, and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. globalists to know. I will eat your ass first. I swear to God, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to get my hands around your throat.
What rolls downstairs, a motor in pairs, rolls over your neighbor's dog? What's great for a snack and fits on your back? It's long, long, long. It's long, long. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's long, long. It's better than that, it's good. Everyone wants a long. You're gonna love it long. Come on and get your long. Everyone needs a long.
Log from Blammo.
It's another B-Word broadcast. Let's go! How's it going, chat? How you doing? How's it going, everybody? Yeah, it is September 13th. It is a Tuesday. One of those days you skip on over. Just a regular old day of the week. And we got ourselves another B-Word broadcast. Let's go! Yeah, it's a shitty day here in Montreal. Stormy weather. Cozy vibes. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm caffeinated. Are you caffeinated? How y'all doing, everybody? Can you believe this? Look at this. Look at this. We're nowhere near the end of September. What the hell is this? I already hit my September goal. I'm freaking out. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling Gucci. How you doing? How's it going, Sandy? Ça va bien? Oh, what a crazy stream it was just a few days ago. Man, was that Sunday? Oh man, what a crazy stream. We're obviously don't have the same energy we have then, but man, yeah, I just want to thank Chuck and Loud Tyrant U for the gifties. It was a good time. How was Ottawa, Sandy? Did you have a good trip? Man, it was such good weather. I was out every day. Every single day I was out. It was so beautiful in Montreal. My goodness. But yeah, we got ourselves another stream. We are checking out what is happening with the very normal country just south of the border. There is like pictures of Trump golfing without any golf clubs. So we're gonna take a little look into that, see what's going on. We've got Russia falling apart, which is crazy. All the Ukraine stands can feel good. There's a massive nurses strike. I don't know who you are or where you've been, but unions are on the rise. It's great to see. And the largest nurses union has gone on strike. I think it's like 15,000 people strong. So we're gonna take a look into that, see what's going on. And to wrap it all up, gonna go see who Pierre Poilievre is. He's the new leader of the Conservative parties of Canada, and yeah, I'm super curious and excited to see just what's up with that. Totally avoiding as much as possible the news of the Queen, except for this one Chad who said that oh god, what was it? Prince Andrew should be ashamed of himself. And he gets arrested. There's been a bunch of people getting arrested for saying, I don't like having a monarchy. Can you believe it? The audacity to say you don't want a king over you. I cannot believe it. We all really should be taking lessons from the French, who, last I checked, don't have monarchies. Man, and I think like there's some threads I came across of Irish immigrating to Canada and having to swear allegiance to the Queen or to the new king. Oh, that's gotta hurt. It's gotta suck. But yeah, all right, we got ourselves a fun stream, lots of good stuff lined up. I'm gonna start getting my act together. We got a regular show, but I'm gonna start trying to figure out segments. So maybe Saturdays we watch Gordon Ramsay. Sundays can be Cypher Sundays, so it's poetry. Maybe invite a guest on who wants to read some of their poetry. And I got to start getting ready for live streaming the Slam, which should also be really fun and exciting. Don't know what I'm gonna do for lighting. I might have to rent some stuff from Concordia or borrow it or whatever. So yeah, lots of good content coming up. And yeah, and holy cow, we read The Rainbow Goblins, and that was such a good book. Oh my goodness, still my mind is afire. I can't wait till next year or the next subathon, because gosh, I just want to read that again. It was so sweet, it was so fleeting. But we blasting off, we going live. We gonna say hello to everybody on Twitter and on Facebook. I'm on Instagram if you want to come follow me there. I usually only post like really good pictures, and I haven't taken a lot of good ones recently, so make of that what you will. So yeah, we got like all sorts of good content. I'm excited to see like some of the citizen surveillance of Trump. It's like real like mob boss vibes. So I'm excited. And Skinny Trump is going viral on Twitter, which is I guess how people are referring to Pierre Poilievre. So he's trending. Trump is doing all sorts of weird stuff. People are like really calling him out for treason, which is great. And yeah, I can't wait to see what's going on with this nurses strike. It's huge. Nurses are striking, and teachers, man, like all public servants are losing their shit. Why is Quebec trying to hurt me? I don't know, Carabaskin. I really don't. What's going on with Quebec recently? Are you talking about Premier Legault? I know he had his foot in his mouth recently. He was saying all sorts of dumb shit. All right, we blasting off. I'm so behind, as you can tell. Like I'm barely keeping it together. So much to do, so much content, and so much reading. I've got like another 70 pages to read today. Just spending all my time reading. But it's been pretty chill. Go out to the park, have a read, have some puts in, stuff like that. All right, we blasting off. Here's the tweet. Go like and retweet it and do the things that tell the algorithms that I don't know, you're having fun. I don't know. Why is Quebec trying to hurt you, man? Man, as an anglophone in Quebec, I mean, I've learned the language. I've tried so hard. J'aime le français. Je veux parler en français tout le temps, mais fuck, man. Somebody asked me if like my accent was Spanish, like if I'm a Spanish speaker from yesterday. I'm like, oh jeez, oh man, oh jeez. But I brought my bike in to get it repaired. That was quite a story. I bring my bike in to get it repaired because I snapped the cable for my gear changer, and the guy's like, yeah, your bike's fucked. Like your chain is starting to stretch itself. I have to remove all the like different gears because all the teeth are worn out. We gotta put in a new cable. It's greased to shit. Haven't you been cleaning it? What are you doing? And I'm like, oh, please tell me I have a good accent. Oh, merci Sandy. I think I once got an award for my accent, but it's changed a lot. C'est changé beaucoup pendant ma vie. And I'm really pushing to be more joie, like more colloquial, especially here in Quebec. Like, man, the French I learned in school and the French here is just worlds apart. And then there's French poetry. I gotta write another French poem, man. I gotta write another French poem. It's gotta happen. Oh, yo. Hey, thanks for the sub.
Down and start over.
No. Thanks, Carol, for the sub. I appreciate it so much. September is still going, so you get 30% off, and when I run ads, you don't get ads, and you get sweet new emotes. I'm pushing my niece to make us some new emotes, and me going like, Pog, or, I don't know, whatever are good emotes. So I brought my bike in. It's fucked. I gotta spend $150 to repair it. So, yeah, that $5 will probably go to that. And man, what a bad feeling, because buying a new bike, hey, c'est comme 800 pièces. It's so expensive now. It's like almost $1,000 for a bike, for a good bike. And I can't go to Canadian Tire anymore. I just can't do it. C'est pas possible. C'est impossible. All right, but let's get into it. Let's get to the main segment, the first segment. We've got all sorts of ridiculous content. But most importantly is, absolutely, I want to keep this front and center. There is quite a big strike happening in the Twin Cities, Twin Ports, and Moose Lakes. So this is happening in America, and I love seeing stuff like this because it's like early tremors. You get like the first kind of inclination that something really big is popping off, that stuff is going down. So let's switch on over to that, and then we'll catch up on Trump acting like a weird mob boss. Senzi, j'ai utilisé mon vélo tellement que c'est comme détruisé. Like, I've used my bike so much, I've worked it so hard, half of it's got to be replaced. Just take out the engine, put a new engine in, replace the bikes. The tires are going like this. It's one of those things where he's like, if you don't do anything about this, you're gonna get hurt. I'm like, please tell me no. I was really skeptical, and I'm like, okay, but learn me something. Je vais apprendre. And he's like, c'est pas une école ici, là, but okay. And he pulls out this special tool, and he places it inside the chain, and it very clearly shows there's like a weird gap going on. And he tells me that because the chain connects like this, imagine that all of them were loose like this. Wait. Yeah, you buy your chain, and it's a bunch like this, and over time, you keep pushing really hard, and over time, the chain becomes like this. And so eventually, I'm going to push down really hard one day, and my foot's just going to go through, my chain will be done, and I'll have to go. That was just one of the problems. Another one is that my tire goes like this. It's just like, it turns on its axle. I also learned a bunch of new words for bikes. Comme de balle or axle. Okay, let's get into the news. Let's check out what's going on. Enough about my bike woes. Oui, mais quand j'ai acheté quelque chose comme pas cher, like, I came across an email I wrote 8 years ago, 10 years ago, of me being like, you sold me this shitty bike. So pissed. I bought a bike for almost $200, and then I sent an angry email being like, you fucker. It's a useless bike. Everything's broken. I spent 3 hours fixing it, you monster. And I remember that bike. It barely lasted the season. I had to repair it almost every day. It was a nightmare. I got completely conned. So that's when I decided to buy a real bike. Oh yeah, and then this fucked up part of the story happened, which totally ruined my day. Absolutely destroyed it. I go into the shop, and there's this kind old man who owns it, and he's really sweet, big smile, and I realize when I hand my bike over, I gotta take the chain, and it's a big heavy chain, so I like wrap it around my waist and lock it on, and I'm joking like, hey, do you like my drip? And he's like, oh, that's so funny. Come, let's chat for a bit. I'm like, oh, cool. I might learn something about this old bike shop from the business owner who's been running it for over, 30 years. 44 years, I think he said. Motherfucker gets sweet on me. Gets so sweet on me. And within like 30 seconds, like me saying just like, oh yeah, I bought your cheapest bike because I'm poor. He's like, oh yeah, you're poor, eh? Wraps his arm around me like, I could help you with that, huh? I was like, motherfucker, do I look, oh shit. I was super lecherous. Very weird, man. And I thought to myself, I had the funniest self-critical thought, which was that like a woman will smile at me and I'm like, she likes me. She must really like me. But a dude will smile at me. Same smile, same, like just similar smile. And it will never cross my mind that he's like, yeah, I want to do you. I want to spread those cheeks. Like, I thought it was so funny. Just that blind spot in my mind of how incapable I am to see, I don't know, see that gaze, that male gaze. And like, if it's the right feel, sure. But damn, man, he was an old dude. He came on hot and heavy and strong, like out of nowhere. Like, fuck no. I just want to get my bike fixed. I don't want fucking pipes cleaned. Like, Jesus. So that kind of ruined my day. I just felt kind of, I don't know, man. Dudes, man. Dudes, am I right? What a bunch of bastards, man. Men suck sometimes. But let's get to the news. That's my story from yesterday. Hope you enjoyed the confession. Voila. The first story, it doesn't look like 15,000 people. But this is at least one of 3 cities where, yeah, there's like a big strike going on. The AFL-CIO. If we just follow this account, we're going to see all sorts of new stories. Featured on the Today Show. Perfect. Let's draw down the music.
Nurses in Minnesota launched a 3-day
But anyway,
strike yesterday, fighting for more staffing and better care for patients.
15,000.
15,000 nurses at 7 healthcare systems in Minneapolis walked off the job. It marks the largest strike of private sector nurses in U.S. history. The affected hospitals say they recruited temporary nurses, and they say they can maintain most services.
Damn, man. There's been a lot of talk, in the Montreal subreddit about like, how do I get a doctor? How do I go see medicine, man? And everybody's like, the system's fucked. Sorry, guess what? It's not in a good place right now. Is everybody just sharing the same image? So here we go. First union contract. This is September 6th. So, man, that's big. That's huge. I thought I had a bit more on this. I know it's really big and important, but it's so fresh. Let's see here. I thought I had 1 or 2 others. We also got some really messed up QAnon stories that are going to come up. the QAnon stuff is starting to cause mental health issues. Okay, so that's all I actually have on this story. Let's see if I just go like this. Go like this and pull up news. Sorry, this is the only story I don't have with more than one source. Everything else, I got a bunch of stuff, but this one, here we go. So September 12th, here we go. That's better.
Thanks for being with us on this Monday. I'm Alexandra Burnley. Today, nurses with the Minnesota Nurses Association left the bedside and went on strike at hospitals across the Twin Cities and the Twin Ports. The debate between the hospitals and the nurses union continues over wages, staffing, and more. Fox 21's Maria Ballum reports.
Yo, American Hospital.
1, 2, 3, 4. We won't take it anymore. 5, 6, 7, 8. Sit down and negotiate.
The MNA and the hospitals have spent more than 5 months in
That's what I call an anthem.
Contract negotiations, with nurses complaining of low wages and understaffing. The two groups have yet to reach an agreement, and 10 days ago, nurses at 16 different hospitals in the Twin Cities, the Twin Ports, and Moose Lake announced that they would be going on strike starting today.
Essential workers, everybody.
Well, I think what we want to see is for a more serious movement by the employer or by Essentia in regards to how to try to fix the staffing situation that's going on within Essentia and in our community. And so we hope that they see this as a strong message to them that we're united in wanting to.
I guess it blows my mind because like the whole world looks at the American healthcare system and goes, yeah, the insurance industry is probably stealing from everybody and making way too much money and, you know, administrative bloat and all this stuff. And everybody on the ground, all the labor is like, can you guys just pay us more? Can you just pay us a little bit more? Just a bit more because we can't afford to eat or rent.
Achieve our goals to have better staffing and better patient care.
Last week, Essentia filed an unfair labor practice charge against the MNA, alleging that the strike would be illegal, as the MNA failed to include the hospital among the list of facilities in its 10-day strike notice. The MNA says they disagree. The strike is not illegal, and they decided to go through with it.
Dang, you didn't notify the right hospital, so now the police are going to shut it down?
Essentia
Yikes.
provided us with a written statement that reads in part, quote, Essentia is disappointed the MNA is focusing its efforts on a strike instead of at the bargaining table. We value the outstanding care our nurses provide. However, we cannot agree to the MNA's request for a 27% wage increase because it's not responsible.
It's not responsible.
We want to assure our patients and community that our hospitals will remain open during a strike.
The only negotiating tactic that labor has is group negotiation. And you can't show you can negotiate as a group if you can't pull off a strike. Straight up. If you can't rally everybody to take real pain, you know, not get paid, sometimes for weeks on end, which is messed up. You're not going, you know, like, what do you do? But it's like one of your only ways to really like show administration, like, yeah, we mean business. Pay us.
Quote. A written statement from St. Luke's reads in part, quote, we did everything we could to avoid a strike. We negotiated in good faith through 17 sessions, including 44 hours just this past week.
Holy cow.
We did not abandon the negotiating process. We have been asking for federal mediation for months. MNA could have avoided this strike and chose not to.
Dang, they came with receipts. They're like, yo, what more do you want? We did a full week, more than a full week. 40 hours a week, they did 44? Yikes.
End quote. Nurses with the MNA in the Twin Ports say that they plan to strike until 7 a.m. Thursday morning.
Dang, power to them, power to the people.
In the Northlands, at least one strike has already been called off. Essentia Health says its Moose Lake campus withdrew their strike notice last night. And meanwhile, for the first time, Essentia Health has released a video-recorded statement. Here's a piece of it.
We look forward to resuming negotiations, working towards an agreement with the MNA that will allow both sides to return our focus where it should be.
This person does not go hungry at night. She does not look like she is strong.
On our patients and our communities first and foremost. At Essentia, we already have some of the finest nurses within the entire country. We're so thankful for the many contributions they make in advancing our mission of making a healthy difference in people's lives, in moving forward the professionalism and practice of nursing and collegial care. And when the time comes, we will welcome them back with open arms.
Uh-huh. Do you believe her? Do you believe this person? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating time and time again to see like this really big societal problem that's affecting huge amounts of people, families, people you relate to, and then like the person they're struggling with and negotiating with is just like some old geezer who's just like, yeah, this seems kind of like a problem, I guess. Working conditions are tough. Staff and patient ratios are getting worse. They were bad before COVID and even worse now. More and more keeps getting added to nurse duties. It's not manageable. Yeah, it's been a race to the bottom for so long, especially in teaching. You've been seeing it as like 25 students in a classroom per teacher used to be madness. And now we're seeing numbers like 30, 35. I've seen as high as 40 in some extreme cases. And in kindergarten, there was this one post in r/teachers of a teacher being like, yo, I've got 2 classes to manage of 30 kids. How do I do this? I can't be in 2 places at once. And a lot of people like left nursing, left teaching, got sick from COVID, or had to take care of people who got sick, or all sorts of things. And now there's just fewer people available. And it's not like the system's rewarded those people. Normally when you have less labor, the value of that labor goes up. So I don't understand what the problem here is. It's the norm and expected, but when care is compromised or kids aren't taught, well, then it's the nurse or teacher problem. Yeah, I also sense a strain of like misogyny in this. I'm really aware that it seems to me that it's all the like women jobs. Teaching and nursing, like, come on. What, like doctors are kind of facing this to the same extent, but not like nurses are. Administration is safe from this, but not teachers. Teachers are usually women, you know, service work, you know, like all that stuff. So I don't know. This is a sign that things are this is another sign, for instance, was like popular support for unions, all-time high, I think, in America. It was the highest point since 1965. Sorry. So that was interesting. This was a Gallup poll that happened a little while ago, actually just a few weeks ago, so it's very relevant. 71% of Americans now approve of labor unions. Sheesh. That's huge. That means it's being brought up at the dinner table. No, Thanksgiving is safe. Nobody's saying Thanksgiving is safe. 40% of union members say their membership is extremely important. Employee engagement higher among non-union workers. 48 in 2008 after the financial collapse, the housing crisis, and then it's just been mounting since then. And 72 was when it was that high. So look at this, all through the Reagan eras, man, did unions ever get trounced. Almost barely 50% at its lowest after the financial collapse. Wow. But 1 in 6 Americans live in a union household. Okay. Stats, everybody. Better pay. People want job security. Positive effect on country, 5. So it's all about how does this help me, yeah? Oh, geez. But I mean, it works. Unions do the thing of raising. It's like I had this argument a lot with students pendant le printemps d'érable ici au Québec, where it was like, you know, why are Quebec students protesting? They got the lowest tuition. Shouldn't they be happy? And then the response, which you would know if you lived in Quebec, but I didn't because I was raised in Ontario. The response was tuition's low because Quebec students protest, and they protest really well. And that's something that's not true in Ontario, Vancouver, BC. I can't think of any province that protests where students protest like Quebec students. Now that I think about it. So that's base. That's cool. we're gonna swing on back to this segment. We're gonna move on to the DOJ stuff with Trump because of this really funny image. All of this is just, oh man, geez, I cannot get enough. Where is it? Here we go. It's so good. It's so good. Trump goes golfing with his aides, but there's no golf clubs. Drawing comparisons to mobsters and Ocean's 11. Let's see if we can find. I think it was over on Twitter actually. Somebody had taken a long view camera, a big lens, and they zoomed in real far, and they caught him like driving around in this motorcade of golf carts with no clubs. It's in the rain. Like, it's really suspicious. Golf cart. So that seems to be in response to a massive amount of subpoenas that just got issued. So we've been following this really closely. I'm excited to let the fantasy breathe for another day that maybe Trump will face consequences. It maybe, just maybe. It's crazier things have happened. Like, didn't we create a black hole somewhere in some part of the world? Okay, so yeah, this is big news because it means that the investigation has moved out from like the little fishies and it's moved up a whole like tier, and now we're moving away from the little fishies who've been giving a lot of information to the FBI, and now we've moved up to like the lieutenants and the captains and, you know, the right-hand mans, the bagmen, the people who might actually be facing really serious crimes. So this is exciting. It's the norm and expected, but when care is compromised, kids aren't taught. Oh yeah, sorry, that's another comment on Trunk. Also, how's it going? Phones were seized, even though it's been like 18 months though. So I don't know how valuable that is, but they seized some phones. Justice Department officials have seized the phones of 2 top advisors to former President Donald Trump and blanketed his aides with about 40 subpoenas in a substantial escalation of the investigation into his efforts to subvert the 2020 election, people familiar with the inquiry said on Monday. The seizure of the phones, coupled with a widening effort to obtain information from those around Mr. Trump after the 2020 election, represent some of the most aggressive steps the department has taken thus far in its criminal investigation into the actions that led to the January 6th assault on the Capitol by a pro-Trump mob. The extent of the investigation has come into focus in recent days, even though it has often been overshadowed by the government's legal clash with Mr. Trump and his lawyers over a separate inquiry into the handling of presidential records, the one we've been gushing over, you know, all the top secret spy shit, the nuclear codes. You know that story? You know the story about the guy who used to be the most powerful person just kind of taking a bunch of nuclear information? Remember that story? I hope we haven't forgotten about it now that the Queen died. Pretty sure this is still important. The former president, federal agents with court-authorized search warrants, which they had to add in because people don't understand how search warrants work. Which is scary. So the FBI took phones last week from 2 people with very real names. Boris Epshteyn. Why is it always Boris? Why is it always Boris? An in-house counsel, so a lawyer, who helps coordinate Mr. Trump's legal efforts. Okay. And Mike Roman, another very normal real name, a campaign strategist who is the director of Election Day operations. Ooh, so he would have been like texting about Election Day. Oh, that's fun. Mr. Epshteyn and Mr. Roman have been linked to a critical element of Mr. Trump's bid to hold on to power. The effort to name slates of electors pledged to Mr. Trump from swing states won by Joseph R. Biden in 2020 as part of a plan to block or delay congressional certification of Mr. Biden's electoral college victory. Yeah, this is like the big made up. Okay, Odoval Senzi. Merci pour discuter. Thanks for being in the chat. Have a good one. I'll see you soon. Shadang. Mr. Epshteyn and Mr. Roman did not respond to requests for comment. Justice Department spokesman declined to comment. Salut, bye. The names of those receiving the latest round of subpoenas in the investigation related to January 6 have dribbled out gradually, with investigators casting a wide net on a range of issues, including Mr. Trump's post-election fundraising and the so-called fake electors scheme. One of the recipients, people familiar with the case said, was Dan Scavino. Remember Dan Scavino, everybody? I wanna be like Dan Scavino. Or is it Dan Bongino? Okay, I actually don't know who this guy is. He's got a really weird look. My man looks so suspicious. He looks very suspicious. Who is that? Who that guy? I know who that is. That's Rupert Murdoch, one of the most powerful men in media. Who's that guy? Huh. Dan Scavino, everybody. He's the former social media director. Sense. Okay. He rose from working at a Trump-owned golf course to become one of his most loyal West Wing aides and has remained an advisor since Mr. Trump left office. So wait, he worked at a golf course? How? What? He became the social media director after working at a golf course? For their social media accounts, I guess? Stanley Woodward, one of Mr. Scavino's lawyers, declined to comment. Another was Bernard B. Carrick, a former New York City police commissioner. Mr. Carrick, who promoted claims of voter fraud alongside his friend Rudy Giuliani, was issued a subpoena by prosecutors with the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington. His lawyer, Timothy Parlatore, said. Mr. Parlatore said his client had initially offered to grant an interview voluntarily, and then they didn't. The subpoenas seek information in connection with the fake electors plan. So yeah, the walls are closing right now. That is very scary for these guys. For months, associates of Mr. Trump have received subpoenas related to other aspects of the investigations into his efforts to cling to power. But in a new line of inquiry, some of the latest subpoenas focus on the activities of the Save America Political Action Committee, the main political fundraising conduit for Mr. Trump since he left office. So let's see if I can find some of these pictures of of Trump, like, here it is, found it immediately. Awesome. Tell me if this looks suspicious. Former President Trump at his Virginia golf property today, but not appearing to play as he moved about with a large group. I don't think there's any sound to this. This is awesome. This is so sketch. Or sus, as the kids say nowadays. Right? It's sus? Just going for a drive. No clubs. Totally normal. Normal convoy. It's a freedom convoy, everybody. Because they're discussing how to keep him free. Just going for a ride. Just hanging out with the boys, everybody. I like golfing because it's one of the few places you can legally drink and drive. Trump likes golfing because it's one of the few places you can conspire without being spied upon. We are not the same. Bad joke is bad. It's just like this long clip. Come on, guys, what are you gonna do? I don't know how you make it make sense. Awesome. So good. So good. Almost want to watch it again. Guys, no warning, outdoors, secure property, sudden gathering, far from trees. I didn't think about that part. No chance to set up mics or cameras for lip reading. Golf shirts so you can't hide a wire. This is a mob meeting and they're planning something, changed my mind. It's awesome. I've watched so much Grand Theft Auto roleplay. This is exactly what I thought. People are like, yeah, I played a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5. I know what a mob meeting looks like. I used to role play as a robber. We used to golf all the time to conspire on our video game, in our video game. Oh, geez, it's so silly. It's so silly. People actually think they know as much as, like, FBI investigators. I love it. The fact that the Justice Department is now seeking info related to fundraising comes as the House committee examining the January 6th attack has raised questions about money Mr. Trump solicited under the premise of fighting election fraud. The new subpoenas encompass a wide variety of those in Mr. Trump's orbit, from low-level aides to his most senior advisors. That's what I was talking about, like the sort of moving up the pyramid, moving up the tiers of power. The Justice Department has spent more than a year focused on investigating hundreds of rioters who were on the grounds at the Capitol on January 6th. But this spring, it started issuing grand jury subpoenas to people like Ali Alexander. Really? Yo! If Ali Alexander's like right in the thick of it. He's like one of the biggest promoters, huge organizer, did so much like live streaming and stuff. And he was with the Stop This Steal group. They helped plan the march to the Capitol. So that's awesome. It's awesome he got a subpoena. While it remains unclear how many subpoenas have been issued in the early round, the info they sought was broad. According to one subpoena obtained by the New York Times, they asked for any records or communications from people who organized, spoke at, or provided security for Mr. Trump's rally at the Ellipse. They also requested info about any members of the executive and legislative branches who may have taken part in planning or executing the rally or tried to, quote, obstruct, influence, impede, or delay the certification of the presidential election, like Josh Hawley, maybe? I don't know. That's what I'm really curious about. Who in the legislature, what lawmakers are going to get wrapped up in all this? Okay. So this is a good story. Around the same time, federal investigators seized Mr. Eastman's cell phone. If you remember, John Eastman, was the lawyer who came up with the legal theory, or the coup in search of a legal theory. I always get that mixed up. And is basically, whenever you hear something about alternate slate of electors or something like that, it's because of this guy. He came up with this cockamamie legal theory that doesn't make any sense, so that, you know, they'd have some way of pushing through their authoritarian regime. You know, it doesn't have to make sense. You just have to have a story. That's all. So, okay. All right. I love this golf cart. This golf cart drive. It's awesome. So, in the courts, Trump lawyers are opposing the DOJ's request on classified docs. This is from Reuters. Trump's attorneys on Mondays opposed a U.S. Justice Department request to immediately resume examining the contents of classified documents seized by the FBI last month. His lawyers in a filing also asked Judge Aileen Cannon to make those roughly 100 documents among the more than 11,000 records found in the court-approved August 8th search, part of a review that an independent arbiter, called a special master, will conduct to vet all the materials. Like, are we doing this? Is this legit going to be a special master? Sheesh. The special master, requested by Trump and approved by the judge last week, could deem documents privileged and wall them off from investigators. Trump is under investigation by the Justice Department for retaining government records, some of which were marked as highly classified, including top secret. I think we know about this. Okay, here we go. Trump's lawyers on Monday told Cannon they opposed two retired judges, Barbara Jones and Thomas Griffith, proposed by the government to serve as special master. There was some back and forth. Yada, 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 who cares? In another development, the Justice Department has charged a Texas woman who prosecutors accused of making phone threats against Cannon, including saying the judge was marked for assassination. Wait, what? The incident marks the latest example of threats reported against various federal authorities in recent months. Cannon previously blocked the department from immediately using the seized records in the investigation, a move that will slow it down. Trump's lawyers in Monday's filing disputed the department's claim that the roughly 100 documents at issue are in fact classified, and they reminded Cannon that a president generally has broad powers to declassify records. They stopped short of suggesting that Trump had declassified the documents, a claim he has made on social media, but not in court filings. Quote, there still remains a disagreement as to the classification status of the documents, Trump's lawyers wrote. The government's position therefore assumes a fact not yet established. Awesome. Anything you can do to muddy the waters, eh? So, man, when you look at the news, it's crazy how often, like, I just got rid of 2 stories, one from The Independent, one from Reuters, that were just carving out sections of the New York Times and then re-reporting them, regurgitating it. I'm like, yeah, we covered all, we just covered that in the, we just did that. What's going on, Reuters? What the hell? What's your opinion? So who is Raymond Dearie? DOJ and Trump finally agree on a special master candidate. This is Business Insider. We'll just read the highlights from Azmi Haroon and Catherine Tangalakis-Lippert. The DOJ has agreed to one of Trump's nominees for special master in their probe of misplaced White House docs. That's what you're calling it? Not stolen, or I just misplaced them. White House docs, not confidential, top secret information. Jeez. The DOJ said that a former New York district judge appointed by Reagan was fit to play the role. Trump's other choice was rejected by DOJ lawyers who said he lacked experience. DOJ has signed off on a candidate to serve as special master. Dearie, who's 78, was the former chief judge of the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of New York. Trump's team has rejected all of the DOJ's picks, and the department's approval of Dearie marks a rare mutual agreement in the ongoing legal battle. Dang. Okay, so in 2012, he was appointed by Supreme Court Justice John Roberts to a 7-year term on the U.S. FISA, so Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court. Interesting. That's probably why the feds agreed to him. If he's been on a FISA court, he understands how surveillance works, and then it's an open shut case. Cool. This is a report from Vanity Fair. It's reaching back a little bit, but I thought it was kind of interesting. It's by Bess Levin, so you know it's gonna be good. Report: Trump thought he could stop Biden's presidency by just not leaving the White House. You can't make me. Get out of your room right now. No. Oh God, normal country with normal political news. All right, think back to mid-November 2020. You remember Trump taking his election loss well? That he seemed of sound mind and body? That he was not going to shred whatever last ounce of dignity he had in an absurd effort to hold on to power? Well, no, of course you don't. The man is acting crazier than he had at any point in the last 4 years, which is obviously saying something, given that the last 4 years had seen him advise people to inject bleach into their veins. Remember that? Put it into your whatever. He had quite clearly completely lost it, and if you need any more convincing, perhaps a new anecdote about him thinking he could stop Joe Biden from becoming president by simply refusing to vacate the White House would do it. The sentence is broken. Yes, in her forthcoming Trump tome, set for release on October 4th, New York Times scribe Maggie Haberman, lover or hater, reports that Trump spent the days following his loss telling aides that, despite a long-respected custom to do otherwise, he would not be leaving the White House on January 20th. Quote, "I'm just not going to leave," Trump told one aide. According to Haberman, "We're never leaving," the then president told another person. "How can you leave when you won an election?" If you're wondering whether there's some kind of precedent for a POTUS losing an election and then crossing his arms and telling people, "I'm not going," Haberman informs us in her book, Confidence Man, that no, there is not. The closest historical parallel, she reports, would probably be when Mary Todd Lincoln refused to leave the White House for almost a month after Lincoln was assassinated. Incidentally, Todd Lincoln was subsequently declared insane and committed to a mental institution. Was she like the only female leader and they institutionalized her? Oh my God, America, calm down. According to Haberman, in the immediate aftermath of the election, Trump seemed to understand that he had lost and would have to go, telling what advisor, "We did our best," and remarking to press aides, "I thought we had it." Of course, this brief brush with reality did not last, and at some point, Trump reportedly decided he wasn't conceding anything. "Why should I leave if they stole it from me?" While Confidence Man is the first book to report on Trump's unhinged adamance on staying in the White House, anyone observing his behavior at the time could have probably read between the lines. In fact, as one outlet headlined on November 6th, 2020, quote, "It sure sounds like Trump may barricade himself in the Oval Office and refuse to come out if Biden wins." That's awesome. That's awesome. Somebody please make a drawing of Trump the child barricading the White House as if it's his bedroom or something. "You gotta come out and eat your vegetables. I don't wanna go golfing with the pals." All right, we're what else I got? What else I got here? I think, is that it for Trump stuff? I think it is. Yeah, okay, now we're just on to normal, unhinged America. We got two stories side by side that work together. So first, we have Republican senators led by the very famously gentleman Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham, one who always sticks by his word. They slam Trump for his January 6th pardon promise. So Trump promised to grant pardons.
The next president should crack down on this insanity and crack down very, very quickly.
Oh, I did the wrong one.
The civil liberties of people, the safety of law-abiding Americans cannot be violated by weak mayors and cowardly.
Here, we'll play
The next Congress and the next president should crack down on this insanity and crack down very, very hard and very, very quickly. The civil liberties of people, the safety of law-abiding Americans cannot be violated by weak mayors and cowardly governors.
So Graham criticizes him, saying pardons are given to people who admit misconduct, rehabilitate themselves. They're not supposed to be used for other purposes. So basically saying you can't use a pardon to say, go crime for me. I don't think presidential candidates...
Social media giant Snap Inc., that's the company that...
Please don't do that to me. I don't think potential candidates should hold pardons out as a promise, said Senator Kevin Cramer, who is usually a reliable Trump ally. Quote, "It's somewhat problematic for me on a moral level and an ethical level, sort of like promising other giveaways to particular individuals. I prefer avoiding those kinds of things." They can't even say that bribing people to commit crimes for you is a bad thing. They're like, still like, yeah, probably on the bad side of things, I think, but don't hold me to that. And then that same senator is now proposing a national abortion restriction bill. They're going for a federal ban on abortion already. Tuesday, today, it will be announced. So we're looking out for it. There's gonna be a press conference. Bill, let's see if we can find out when that is, because we'll watch it live. 1 hour ago. You might have just missed it. Oh, this is a really good track. More info. Will air September 13th, 12 p.m. Okay, so at 12 p.m. we'll come back to this and we'll watch this live. Awesome. I'm so excited, man. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be such a fun time. It's truly what Twitch is all about. Thank goodness for the news, everybody, or else we wouldn't be able to have a good time. So we'll come back to that at noon to see just how diabolical Senator Lindsey Graham is going to be. Not good. Definitely not good. Kind of scary. It actually makes for a good segue about how this is Common Dreams, so it's a left-wing news, pretty lefty, so take that for what it is. Experts warn Supreme Court supporting dangerous GOP legal theory could destroy U.S. democracy. the independent state legislative theory of formerly fringe right-wing notion that state lawmakers alone can regulate federal elections will be tested in the U.S. Supreme Court in the coming months. This story has been bubbling up for a little while. It's really on the fringes, but it could actually be a really big deal considering how insane the SCOTUS has been. Hocus SCOTUS, I think I'm calling it now. Because there's a fringe legal theory that's going to be taken up that could basically allow states to overrule federal law, which will just call the whole union into question. I'm not super excited to read this. We might come back to it. I think we're all really aware that the Supreme Court isn't well regarded. I think John Roberts whines about legitimacy. We've got John Roberts whining about how people don't trust the Supreme Court anymore because they made shit up. Super normal that Alito, Amy Coney Barrett, Clarence Thomas, and John Roberts, everybody, oh my god, just what, Kavanaugh and Gorsuch who haven't whined? Yikes. Let's begin by recalling that no court was more heavily criticized than the Warren Court, yet you did not hear a constant drumbeat of complaints from the justices themselves. They let their opinions and history do the talking, an approach the current court, which is widely and correctly seen as partisan and peevish, would do well to follow. Roberts declared, quote, "You don't want the political branches telling you what the law is, and you don't want public opinion to be the guide of what the appropriate decision is," he continued. "Yes, all of our opinions are open to criticism. In fact, our members do a great job of criticizing some opinions from time to time. But simply because people disagree with an opinion is not a basis for criticizing the legitimacy of the court." Can you believe it? He thinks people are pissed because they just disagree with an opinion. And not that that opinion is like creating a legal framework to deprive them of human rights. It's ghoulish. So, yeah. That's how you know they're not feeling too comfy. So that is bubbling under the surface. And I think it's kind of a good segue, actually, into this unusual story. I'm really not enjoying the whole changing of the guard for the British monarchy. Just kind of rubs me raw. I don't really like aristocracies. Humans went through a lot of bloodshed to create this idea that is democracy, to rid ourselves of the yoke of kings and masters, and it's still not true. Modern slavery is on the rise, actually. But here, people are being arrested in the UK just simply for protesting, and there's been some pretty crazy examples. A 22-year-old woman will face charges for holding up a sign that said, fuck imperialism, while a man was handcuffed and placed in the back of a police van for asking who elected King Charles III. So she got arrested for this. What? And is getting charged. Abolish monarchy apparently is a chargeable opinion. Not allowed to have that opinion. Criminal, a breach of the peace. Insane to me. There's also, I think I'll pull it up. I came across it in my feed of a bunch of stories coming in of people getting their medical appointments canceled because, like, the Queen died, or like another image of like a bike rack couldn't be used because the Queen died. Like, it's really weird stuff. Meanwhile, in Oxford, a man was arrested after shouting "Who elected him?" as he walked past an event where King Charles III was being proclaimed as the new king on Sunday. Simon Hill, 45, said that he was walking home from church when he stumbled upon the event. Awesome. Quote, "I doubt most of the people in the crowd even heard me. 2 or 3 people near me told me to shut up," he wrote. "I didn't insult them or attack them personally, but responded by saying that a head of state was being imposed upon us without our consent. Contrary to some claims on social media, I did not say anything remotely disrespectful today about Elizabeth's death. I did not disrupt an act of mourning and never would. My objection was to the proclamation of Charles Windsor as king, not my king. Hill said security guards intervened first before police then approached him too and led him away before handcuffing him and placing him in the back of a police van. Thames Valley Police told Vice World News, quote, a 45-year-old man was arrested in connection with a disturbance that was caused during the county proclamation ceremony of King Charles III in Oxford. Not our king, it's colonial subjugation of the Welsh people. Based. He has subsequently been de-arrested and is engaging with us voluntarily as we investigate a public order offense. De-arrested, what a term. What the hell does that mean? What's a de-arrest? So you're not charging him? He's engaging with us voluntarily as we investigate a public order offense. Don't talk to the police. Chat, don't talk to the police. Police said that Hill had been arrested on suspicion of a public order offense relating to behavior that could likely cause harassment, alarm, or distress. On Monday, footage from central London showed a protester holding a sign with the words "Not My King" on it being led away by police. That's wild to me. Wow. That blows my mind, honestly. It's a scary trend to see. Good protester keeps the sign up though. This reminds me like in Russia when people were getting arrested like before they could even get the sign up. Yeah, and there was another one that went viral. I think this story published, and I'll look on background to see if I can find it. But there's a really interesting clip. Following this, a lawyer said he had been told by a police officer in Parliament Square that if he wrote the same words on a blank piece of paper, he would be arrested. Vice World News has reached out to Poilievre for more details of the incident, which he also posted footage of. Just went to Parliament Square and held up a blank piece of paper. Officer came and asked for my details. He confirmed that if I wrote "Not My King" on it, he would arrest me under the Public Order Act because someone might be offended. Awesome.
Why are you not giving details?
I'm not going to. Why would you ask for my details?
Just so I can check and make sure you can be here.
I'm in my city.
You've already said you've been arrested once.
Sorry?
You've already told me you've been arrested.
No, I haven't.
You said that earlier.
No, I said other people have been arrested.
Okay, well, now we've made that clear. I want to make sure you don't have bail conditions not to be here. So just confirm, you're not going to give me your details.
I was holding up a blank sign. Why are you asking for my details?
You said you're going to write stuff on it that may offend people.
I said I was going to write "Not My King" on a sign, and you asked for my details.
It may offend someone.
Who's that going to offend?
I don't know. Someone may
Not my king. Someone might be offended.
Are you going to listen or are you just going to talk over me? Is that what you plan to do? Just talk over me continuously?
Go ahead.
No? Thank you. All right. I give you some advice.
That's pretty bad. That's a bad clip. Also, on Monday, a 22-year-old man was arrested in Edinburgh for heckling Prince Andrew as the Queen's coffin was escorted through the city. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is it. This is a crazy clip. Sorry, we'll pull it up full. I think he said like, "You're a dirty old man, Andrew."
Disgusting! Wait, I've done nothing wrong.
He got arrested, charged. I'll see if I can find that same clip, but he had a statement. I'll see if I can find it. Yeah, I might not be able to find it. No, I don't. Okay, end of that story. We're gonna move on. I got a bit of Varia, a bit of palate cleansers, and then we'll get to our last segment, Pierre Poilievre. See whether he's a good leader or not. Maybe he is. Maybe it's fine. Okay, so let's see here. I'm sure by now you have heard about Russia's huge retreat. Apparently, those troops that were forced to retreat were meant to be the elite forces, tough enough to fight NATO, the UK intel tells us. So there was a big... So the people who basically just got routed really hard had a big reputation. The UK named the 1st Guards Tank Army. Really? Really? Just editors let that pass? They were among those who ceded vast parts of the Kharkiv region that army officials said was a prestigious unit meant to take on NATO in a hypothetical conflict. So, yeah, some of their strongest forces were forced to retreat, essentially. Which is good news. Good news. Also, people in Russia keep falling overboard. I don't know why, but they're falling overboard a lot, everybody. They're getting defenestrated. They're on boats. Tipping on over. Man overboard. It's just a common occurrence in Russia. You look at the charts, it's like, it's not cancer, it's not heart disease, it's like falling off of tall buildings is the leading killer of Russian men. The death of a Russian energy executive over the weekend adds to a list of mysterious deaths of high-powered national businessmen since prior to the February 24th invasion of Ukraine. Ivan Petrin, 39, managing director of the Corporation for the Development of the Far East and the Arctic, reportedly fell off a boat at full speed and died Saturday near Russky Island in the Sea of Japan in Primorsky Krai, Russia, near Vladivostok. East of Moscow. 5,800 miles east of Moscow. That's like on the other side of the world. That doesn't make any sense. How is that a point of reference? 5,800 miles east? I'm sorry, what? In the Sea of Japan? Why would you say this is near Moscow? It's only 5,800 miles east of Moscow, everybody. You know, Moscow, which is like way over here. Oh, that's so silly. Oh, it's all in Russian now. Jeez. Yeah, it's literally on the other side of the country. That's hilarious. The Sea of Japan, Eastern Russia. Yeah, it's pretty close to that western city. Okay, so yeah, another oil exec gets what's coming from the Russian petro state. Always an interesting story. Moving on, there is some interesting stuff bubbling up in Canada. Oh God, Canada, what are you doing? Oh jeez, oh no. That's right, everybody. We have nominated Skinny Trump to be the leader of the Conservative Party. This guy. That's right. That's what conservatives... I mean, Trudeau's actually silly looking too, so what am I talking about? Canada's opposition Conservative Party elected its go-to attack dog, this is CBS News, as its new party leader Saturday. Pierre Poilievre is a firebrand populist who opposes vaccine mandates and blames global inflation on Trudeau. He won the party leadership on the first ballot, defeating a moderate centrist candidate, Jean Charest, with 68% of the votes cast by the party's members. The 43-year-old Poilievre is a career politician and was a cabinet minister in Harper's government. He embraced Canadians who were against vaccine mandates and supported the Freedom Convoy that paralyzed Canada's capital and blockaded the border with the U.S. My man's a freedom lover. Truly a patriot. Truly a patriot. Poilievre won the party base, attracted large crowds, and signed up thousands of new members. Nelson Wiseman, a political science professor at UT, said an apt U.S. comparison for Poilievre is Ted Cruz. The person everybody hates in America. Damn. He is a right-wing populist, Wiseman said. Most Canadians recoil at his populism now, but he'll moderate some of his positions and soften his language and image. I expect the next election to be about an incumbent with growing political baggage. Poilievre, who led his campus conservative club while at university, oh, those are the worst people, has been a member of parliament since age 25. He has urged the firing of the head of Canada's central bank, calling him Trudeau's personal ATM machine. He has also promoted crypto and has said he would defund CBC. Oh, what a piece of shit. In 2005, Poilievre joined other conservative lawmakers on the losing side of a vote by parliament to approve same-sex marriage. My man is homophobic too? Big surprise. Big surprise. In 2008, he apologized after questioning whether Canada was, quote, getting value for all this money by compensating survivors of the country's widely criticized Indigenous residential school. Conservatives, man. The cruelty is the point with them sometimes. It's so insane to see. So crazy. Married father of two, represents district near Ottawa, adopted by 2 school teachers. He's adopted. Says he was born in Calgary to a teenager who couldn't raise a child. Trudeau channeled the star power of his father. Yeah, we don't care about that. So there you go. Pierre Poilievre. I learned some stuff. I didn't know he was pro-freedom convoy. That's hilarious. Alright, we're getting into the scary part. We're getting into the scary part of the stream. Only scary things. Skinny boy. Skinny Trump. Yeah, this is a real OG oh boy moment. So, I guess part of the reason I'm interested in Pierre Poilievre and sort of like what's happening in the Freedom Convoy is because of QAnon. Like, I do see QAnon as like this mind virus. And I just discovered this subreddit that you can read. I don't think I can say it on stream. It's about QAnon. But here we go. Trigger warning. My Q-dad snapped and unalived my family this morning. So, massive trigger warning. Yep. This is from user QAnon ruins families. Yep, the internet ruined him. Growing up, my parents were extremely loving and happy people. I always had a special bond with both my parents. In 2020, after Trump lost, my dad started going down the Q rabbit hole. He kept reading conspiracy theories about the stolen election, Trump, vaccines, etc. He always said he wanted to keep us safe and healthy. It kept getting worse, and he verbally snapped at us a few times. Nothing physical though. He never got physical with anybody. Well, at around 4 a.m. on 9/11, he had an argument with my mother, and he decided to take our guns and blank her, my dog, and my sister. My mom succumbed to her wounds, and my sister is in the hospital right now. My dad also fired back at the cops, and they unalived him. I'm shocked. I don't know what to say. F you, QAnon. I hope the FBI tightens its grip on you, and that your lackeys rot in hell in prison for poisoning so many people. We can confirm this is authentic from the mod. I haven't read this part. I'm with my grandparents. We honestly can't even believe this happened. This is from OP. Someone replied from called somewhere. It's unbelievable. It's true horror. Your poor grandparents, they must be broken. Call the cops and ask for them to get you a grief counselor. Ask the counselor what to do. Also ask them to keep the media the hell away from you. And that obviously didn't happen because there's a news story that I have lined up. But really the news story just points back to this post. So here we are. If your family has a lawyer, call them. You need them. If you don't, ask at the hospital. The hospital will have a lot of resources for you, your sister, and your grandparents. You can also call your local reference librarian and ask for help, whom to call, what resources are out there. Keep the phone off the hook. Don't answer the door unless you know and invited the person. Avoid the media and avoid reading the news. It's going to be impersonal and very cold. Your mom deserved better. Your dog did nothing but try to protect her. Your sister's going to need a lot of support. I'm so very sorry you're going through this. I don't even want to talk to any authorities about the aftermath of the deaths. I can't deal with it. Yikes. I mean, man, cheese. Yo, QAnon. then don't. You don't know anyone anything except yourself surviving the next minute and then the next one after that. Have you had water today? Bring some to your Gran and Gramps. Make sure you all drink it together. I guess it was pure dumb luck because I was sleeping over at a friend's that night. I could have also not made it. I'm so effing mad at everything. And the thread. Yeah, thread basically over. Sheesh. Yo, I knew QAnon was something dark and awful. It's finally starting to pop. But when Trump, if and when Trump gets indicted, which he very well could be, like I don't know what to tell you, man. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. And Pierre Poilievre, I mean, that's gonna be part of his base, is encouraging, promoting alternative news, getting rid of CBC, crypto, NFTs. The state is out to get ya. Here is, of course, the Detroit News. According to the daughter, Walled Lake man fell into conspiracy rabbit hole before shooting his family. So, yeah. Oh, jeez. Yeah, a bullet hole in the hood of a vehicle across the street. No criminal history, no record of protective orders. That's the part that messes me up. No, had never broken the law before. Just got radicalized. Just got his brain warped. Yeah, Punch Drunk, like it very clearly was a huge political success for the Republicans for like 30-40 years to just chase populism, wage culture war bullshit, whip up the electorate, and especially white grievance. And part of that is turning a blind eye to some of the more insane parts of the populism, because as long as they're part of the party, like it doesn't matter. Just make the tent as big as possible. You need as many voters as possible. Cast as wide a net, and that's why we're seeing a lot of like QAnon stuff, a lot of conspiracy thinking, like folding in with the Republican movement, with conservative movement, especially since Trump straight up was like the biggest conspiracy theorist ever. Like that man cranked them out. He really did like his conspiracy theories. I got a rare palate cleanser here for you. This is the ogre fish. It's one of the rarest fish ever. So here you go. Look at that. Nature. Isn't that cool? It's a crossbreed of a fish and an ogre. So that's how they came to be. There's like aqua ogres, and sometimes they have sex with fish. Specifically this. Okay. What else we got? Just to sort of button up that previous story about the Supreme Court, Justice Kagan is like, hey guys, we can lose our legitimacy here. Let's not do that. Quote, judges create legitimacy problems for themselves when they instead stray into places where it looks like they're an extension of the political process, or when they're imposing their own personal preferences. Yeah. Kagan understands. I also have this incredible comment. This Adam Tots, awesome. Every single comic I've seen from Adam Tots has been complete fire. Yeah, I honestly, Punch Drunk, I face a similar dilemma, right? Like, part of what I enjoy about meeting people is, you know, getting a really good conversation, learning about their perspective, and a lot of that takes time, and the internet generally rewards engagement by getting upset, and I'm like so calm most of the time, but I know that one way to grow is to like go debate like right-wing conservative weirdos or whatever, and like, I guess, slap them around or whatever, and because your side's gonna get all riled up like a team sport, and I love debate. I love that kind of like blood sport, but part of me doesn't want to, you know, feed into it either. Anyways, here's this awesome comic. Giant blue lady says, "You have one wish." The man says, "I wish for riches. Diamonds, gold, I want it all." She says, "I can grant this request, but I'll require a cut. You must agree to give me half your treasure. Do we have a deal?" "Deal," he says. "The contract is sealed." And they touch hands. The man rushes home. "Honey, I have amazing news." "Honey? Hello? Honey?" Real Sophie's Choice vibes there. No, wait, no, not Sophie's Choice. What's the story, the parable in the Bible where the king cuts the baby in half? Splits the baby in half to satisfy a dispute between two moms who say it's their kid. Okay, we also have this. My friend gave me the prompt, the observable universe in a bottle to an AI to make an image out of. So we got a bit of time to kill until what's his name? Lindsey Graham does a press conference announcing he's going to try to strip the rights of women across America to, you know, govern their own bodies. We're gonna manifest some content. I've been really into the game Spirit Caller, but also really getting obsessed with AI. Like, I don't know about you, but the whole AI stuff has like been really interesting. Specifically Midjourney. I think Midjourney is one of the few that like I want to try to get in on this. Let's see, is it just a Discord invite? Yes, come on, baby. So yeah, I recommend. Yeah, wow, it's almost 2 million members already. I am so late to the party. So Midjourney is something that can allow you to create artificial intelligence, like art that's created by AI. They have a massive TOS. Oh my god. Yada yada yada. But I thought I could try to figure out how to get some of this going. They're not even taking investment. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, let's learn a little bit about AI. I'm gonna switch up the title for the stream, bring up Discord, all that jazz. Because I really think like this stuff is not going away. It's accelerating so quickly. It's getting to be so, I don't know, so incredibly powerful. Especially as it gets into like the art zone. All right, I'm just bringing this on up for everybody. How's your day going, by the way? Anyone new to the stream? Make sure to support your local neighborhood streamer with likes and follows and subscribes and things like that. It's actually quite a bit of work. I always thought that it would be a lot easier, but streaming there's lots of stuff going on, man. There's so much stuff you gotta take care of. But all right, here we go. We got Discord coming on up, or is it? There we go. There we go. Maybe just put that below all the things so we can see it. All right. Okay. All right. Cool. So this is Midjourney. Just let me update Twitch. Okay, and then at noon we'll watch Lindsey Graham try to strip the rights of women across America. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome, everybody. Okay, so let's take a look at. Ooh. Just switching up the music a bit. I think like this song I keep getting DMCA'd on, so. Okay, let's take a look at this. Where are you? Mid-Journey. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Yeah, I think the best way to make it bigger would be like this. Just like, aha. Okay, it's not perfect, but it will get us going. Go to one of the newbie bot channels, type /imagine, and then whatever you want. The bot will send you 4 images in 60 seconds. Click numbered buttons underneath to get upscales or variations. Once your trial is ended, become a paid membership. Oh, shit. How much does it cost? Newbies 112. How much you cost? Okay, we gotta come up with interesting. We only get so many of these, so we gotta come up with good ones. I'm also just kind of curious if it tells you how many trials. Free trial. What's with all the? Why would they be in an audio chat? Okay. So. Oh, cool. Okay, so let's see what other people have done. Yogi on the Final Fighter. Oh, let's just see what happens if I go imagine be weird. Right? That's probably. Uh-oh. Okay, this is interesting. Get some new art for the stream. Some new emotes. Twitch emotes comes up with all sorts of evil nonsense. Whoa, okay. Already off to an odd start. Ooh. Okay. This is odd. Okay, it's almost done, 90%. Is it done? Did I lose my place? Oh, so many people are sending them in. I have to wait for 1 second. Wait, was this? That wasn't mine. Sorry, I'm Pepegi. Rogues. I guess I was further down. It had this really cool. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Okay. That's kind of cool. Very mysterious. So mysterious. What are the variations? Make variations. Upscale to max. Do I press this and it's gonna redo it? Your job will start shit. Cancel job. Okay, interesting. Oh, I did too many of them. Here's another one. It's all like spooky and slightly mysterious. We'll let this one go through like two, I guess. And then maybe the web of weird. There's this idea in Norse mythology that our lives intersect, and that you are like the sum of your constellation. Like you sit at the center of a web of relationships, and we all sort of weave through each other's lives, and that whole fabric is called the web of weird. The I don't know, this all of who we are. Really like that idea. Whoa. Look at this one. It's got some like like Cthulhu vibes. Okay, we're getting some pretty good pictures. I want to see what the web of weird. The web of weird, everybody. Oh, I'm curious because there's been. I wonder if I should probably pull up some AI generated music. Since that's the vibe we're on. Here, I'll try to figure that out. It's probably copyrighted. We are looking for AI generated songs, and let's look at the web of weird. Woo! Sheesh! That is cool. Dang. I love how all of them have this like journey vibe to them. Like you have to like weirdness is a journey. That's so good. That bottom right one is so cool. How do I make it look prettier? Okay, what else we got? What else we got? What's another way to do this? Usually like remixing different kinds of like media that never should belong. Okay, let's listen to a song created by AI. It's a Eurovision song. Let's see if this is like Blue Jeans and Bloody Tears. They fed hundreds of Eurovision lyrics and melodies to a deep learning algorithm and generated the first Eurovision song made by AI. I'll probably get DMCA. Oh my god. What? This is good. I can't believe an AI made this. Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh man. I don't want to be a musician anymore. Oh, this is upsetting. Yeah, how come you can like upscale to max and stuff like that? I wonder if it's because they paid extra money. What the hell is this? Okay, let's do this one again. I'm gonna re-roll it. Oh, it makes 2 of them. Oh, odd. Yeah, we only need 1. Oh, I see. It's like remixing. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the best one too. Come on. This music's weirding me out. Can't believe a robot made it. Doesn't make any sense. Okay. Job finished. Yes. Woo! Oh my gosh. I love this so much. I'm gonna save this, and I'm thinking maybe it's like the background art for, like, maybe I can give it to my niece for inspiration. There's no life without your life in misery. What? The lyrics don't make sense. The lyrics don't make sense, robot. That is very uncomfortable. I'm a little squidged out by that. Sheesh. I don't know, chat. I don't know what we do about that. Do we set it on fire? AI composed by Ava from 2 years ago. Let's see if there's a big difference. Because what we just listened to was 3 years ago. Oh, man. Really? That's pretty old. Let's see if we can find something like really recent. AI composed epic cinematic music. Stories from fantasy music. Stories from this Silk Road. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Introduction to composing with Ava. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Part of me just wants to get good at this stuff because this is On the Edge by Ava. Alright, let's see if we can get some more sweet AI generated images. I really did like the Web of Weird. And I guess you can... Oh, that's a really good one. Swallowing a spaceship. Nice. Okay, here we go. Make variations, upscale to max. Okay. And then also make variations. Dang, this is so cool. This music's really bang. Come on, robots, get it together. Upscaling to max, cool. Oh. Okay, that's taking a little while. But then there is this one. Oh, there's spiders now. They added spiders. Are any of these really cool? The top left one, maybe. They're also spooky, though. I don't want to be spooky. I'm not a spooky feller. I didn't think the Web of Weird would be so spooky. The first one definitely is pretty spooky. Hey, Tommy Kemper, how you doing? We're toying around with AI stuff today, so bit of artificial intelligent music that we're listening to right now by Ava, and I'm also getting my hands dirty with Midjourney. And my friend was making me aware of something called, Light Journey maybe? I can't remember what it was called. I'll have to look into it. But it allowed you to connect with Ableton Live, a music producing software with like audio visuals. So you could like create lasers and do all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm like, oh geez, oh man, I want it, but dang. Here it is, upscaled to max. Save that. Oh, it looks so good. And then we had a bunch of variations further up. So yeah, if there's any words you think would be good, I'm basically looking for like, oh, I could do one for tear down the statues. Maybe I'd get some album cover art. This is kind of meh. It's a bit too spooky for me. So let's try to get imagine tear down the statues. Whenever I get my shit together and I finally publish this bloody song and get an album together, then yeah. I was demoing that last night and it morphed a few port. Oh, really? Oh, well, I mean, we found some. I posted something last night about this woman who's appeared in like the AI world where, but yeah, thanks for the heads up. Oh god, I can't show it on stream because it's way too messed up. But if it's late at night and you want like to scare yourself, go Google Loab, L-O-A-B. It's like this negative composite of artificial intelligence, like images like these, but done so that it's like taking all the opposite elements and then remixed with other images. And every time it gets remixed, like this woman reappears. And it doesn't matter how you remix it, like she just keeps appearing. It's like really creepy. So that AI song was kind of lame. Let's try again. This is Ava again. Stories from the Silk Road. Let's not lose track. Now you got me all worried about running across porn. Oh, jeez. Ruh-roh. Where'd my post go? I guess it's a request, so I gotta wait for it to finish. Oh, that's a really good one. Beautiful Sudanese girl with golden hair riding a white horse HD. That's awesome. Her eye is messed up, though. Really good, though. Okay, here's Tear Down the Statues. Kind of mid. Kind of mid. So, do we just click version? Let's just go version 1 and remix. We'll get 4 new images, I think. I think that's how it works. Yeah, there's definitely some spooky stuff. But that's why you came to this stream and why I deserve your follow. I'm always showing you content that's so good because there's an element of risk. Okay, here we go. Is that... I'm hoping for something where it's showing people tearing down the statues. Although really I should just pay an artist to make me some album art. That's probably what's going to end up happening. Oh, this music's so mid. Okay, maybe the robots won't take our jobs. This is the music they make. Okay, Ava's okay. I feel like it just takes so long to make any one song. You have to pump it full of so much like original art until it can like understand sort of what it's trying to make. Well, it's really starting to build up now. Ooh, the job's finished. Do we have 2 of them? Any good ones here? These statues do not look torn down. They look very much still up and... I think I need to be way more descriptive. Like, protesters tear down statue. That doesn't even look like a statue. Man, this is like Elden Ring vibes. Next time I'm live in UR, we'll do a room raid, send you a few subs. Oh, thanks, Tommy. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. I didn't know you were a streamer as well. What's, are you on YouTube or on Twitch? I imagine YouTube. The real thing I've come to realize is that streaming on YouTube doesn't make sense until you've built up the audience. And you build up the audience on YouTube by making video essays. So like, okay, I guess I'm gonna... Do I still stream on YouTube? Or do I make a new account and just make video essays? I got a couple good ideas. What was it? Tommy Temper? Okay, so let's try this again, but we're going to change the prompt because it's an action. Something's happening. Protesters tear down a statue of a colonizer. Okay, let's try that. Damn, you're sitting at 2.6K. Look at you go. Oh yeah, I think we watched you during the Freedom Convoy stuff. How's the YouTube going there, Tommy? YouTube's easier to build up an audience than Twitch. You say that, but I just had a subathon, I think Sunday, and yeah, I got a huge amount of support. I find like Twitch builds community a bit better, and it's a lot easier to play like good tunes. Like I frequently just want to play video games and just listen to like really good music. But YouTube, you're right, like it actually gives you new viewers. It actually just like, here, you should check out this content or whatever. Okay, is this done? Oh, it disappeared. Hey, where'd you go? Okay, this is better. We're getting some fire. I still don't see any ropes or anything. And some of these statues look very odd. The top right one looks okay. I feel like there's a trial and I'm gonna like run out of requests. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. Protesters tear down statue of John A. McDonald with ropes. Let's try that. That should work, right? Surely the artificial intelligence knows who John A. McDonald is. I think this is the one song that's DMCA, damn it. It's just an image of John A. McDonald. No, that's not what I want at all. I can't wait to find out about this federal abortion ban in, what, like an hour? 45 minutes? Damn. That's gonna be wild. People are gonna lose their shit. Oh, some of these are really cool, too. Chinese mythical woman, character design, full body, octane render, volumetric lighting, dreamy, cinematic, detailed, ornate. Okay, this person's adding all sorts of stuff. Let's copy some of this. See if I can get a better render. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's all kind of creepy and weird, eh? The bottom right one looks good. Any of these worth upscaling? Maybe the bottom right one? Bottom right one looks kind of cool. So that would be U4, and then we'll ask for a different version. think that's how you do it. No, U means upscale. So we don't want that. No, we don't want an upscale. Okay, let's try again. And it's gonna be protesters tear down statue, and then we'll add in all this crazy stuff. I don't know what AAR 916 is. Actually, that, yeah, no, we don't want that. That's probably racial. Dreamy, octane render. We'll get rid of character design. Full body. Okay, let's see what happens. Maybe use the word destroy. It has to be tear down the statues, but destroy might get, yeah, different images. I was hoping for tear down to, because that's what the poem's called, poem/song. Okay, it's almost done. This one's looking cool. It's got some fire and stuff going on. Might be better. What's an octane render? Oh yeah, here we go. Where'd it go? Here we go. That's better. Yes. Okay. Any of these we wanna? I think the first one's really good. It's just centered so well. Ooh, the bottom left one's awesome. Really cool. Alright, let's upscale both of them. Oh man, this is really interesting. Oh man, you can lose so much time to this. Jeez. People are spamming it so hard. Yeah, if these don't work, Punch Drunk, we'll try Destroy and see if that gets us any more mileage. But already I'm pretty impressed. Once it, like, I looked at the other ones that were upscaled. I'll have to bring them over onto stream so you can see it too, because it opens in a browser. But I see why people are using this for album cover stuff. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know that there's like another story I got of like artist communities banding together to ban AI driven art. Okay. Yo. Okay. All right. Okay. Ah, yeah, that's the one. That looks so bizarre. But it almost looks like I'm taking the perspective of the statue. And that's wrong, like, I guess not. It makes it feel like you're part of the crowd. This is pretty cool. Let's upscale this to max. What's remaster? Yeah, I think that's probably the best one. You can make roughly 8 more images in your free trial. Yikes. Already hitting the limit. Oh, the street. Oh, man. You like the bottom one? I'm running out. Which one was the bottom one? Go back up. This one? Bottom right? Top right looks cool too. I just like that this one's center framed, really. And it feels like the whole city's in the background. Absolutely blew through my trial. Wait, don't upscale this one to max. No, not that one. The other one. Just like there's so many people posting, it's hard to keep track. Yeah, it should be this guy right here. Sorry, top left. Yeah, that's the one I think we're gonna go with. And really, like, this can just be like inspiration for an artist or a background template, like something to get it going. But I'm trying to think of what the like I'm probably putting out an EP within the year. Jesus, it's supposed to happen this summer, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna call it Songs for No One or Tear Down the Statues. Tear Down the Statues is like the big hit, is like the single on it, but Songs for No One just like hits me in the feels, you know, like it's just so much of my music is like me singing to no one. And yeah, I don't know, probably Tear Down the Statues. Except when I do music streams, am I right, chat? So where did it go? Is this it? 18%. Oh, it's super slow. So that might be the last. We got a few more left. The Web of Weird stuff was kind of like dark and sinister, which I wasn't enjoying. The Tear Down the Statue thing is coming up pretty nice. And I don't think if we put in John A. McDonald, we'll actually... I don't think we'll actually get John A. McDonald's. Every time it tries to do faces or something, like it's struggling, especially around eyes and the statue. So I don't know. I don't know. Smoke him if you got him. All right, it's coming along. Just gonna check up on C-SPAN. Alright. Is this done? 90%? You said destroy the statues, right? You can see if we get a better... That looks so good. Looks like art, like oil painting. Damn. Damn. That might be album cover. That might be my album cover. Now I gotta figure out if I can get the licensing for that. Okay, got it. All right, we got like a few more left. A few more left, and then we'll jump over to the Republicans trying to ban all of abortion across all of Canada. I mean, America. So I still want to keep on like this, tear down the statues. destroy the statues though? Damn, man. How about this? Poet tears down statue of fascist. The word fascist is banned. Oh, okay. Colonizer isn't banned though. Oh, I didn't put in the word poet. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Ah, I wasted it. I wasted it good. This is just called a sad boy. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know if this is it, Chief. It's just like showing me a big ass statue. Like that. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Oh no, that didn't look good. Let's try another one. How about poet destroys? Poet. Yeah. Poet destroys statue. Let's try that. I like this idea that, you know, you can have like the raw power of a colonizer using weapons and fire to like subject to people, but a simple poet with a good poem can sort of recast history so distant. Like words made of wind, wearing down a stone, rod of power and steel and blood. Okay, so let me switch over to Discord again. Here we go. So here's the one of the poet destroying a statue. I don't know if it's gonna work. 4 more images. Oh, this is getting scary. People are like unironically posting booba. So kind of mid. The top right one's kind of good. The bottom left one could be good. The bottom left one could be good. It's a statue on fire beside like libraries. I like that one over. Yeah, let's try U3. I've got 3 left. 3. Oh, this is going so fast. It's so depressing. I think that was the reason I didn't do a big AI stream, was because I kept realizing I'd only have so much content I could produce for y'all before I just like hit a hard wall of pay money now. Now money pay. So if you want me to get a subscription to Midjourney AI, do this again. Probably only need like 1 or 2 subs to cover the costs of interesting content. Add over. Is it done? 77%. Getting there. 86. Yeah, and by the time we're done with this, it'll be about time to listen to Senator Lindsey Graham bloviate. Okay. Yeah, this one's way better. Yes. That's fire. Oh my god, that's way better. That's way better than the other one. Sheesh. Alright, I guess we'll commit to that one. Upscale to max. And, dang, so good. Maybe we make another variation of it, upscale that one, and that'll be it. Oh, is it gone? Yeah. So what? I think it's just V3. That'll make a different version. Okay, we're waiting for the upscale on this one. Cool. I think I just figured out album cover. Nice cover art. Does it even have like a fake artist signature in the bottom right? It's probably the signature of the bot. Cool. This one I'm actually more excited about than the other one. The other one had like a really good Riot vibe, but this one feels artistic and like poetic, which is important for a poetry album. I know it's gonna shake out as a music album, but I'm thinking 2 of the 3 songs will be very, very poetic, very poetically driven. Which is exciting. There's so much work to putting together an album. I still gotta make like a friggin' just like I'll figure out how to distribute it and master the files and stuff. Like, oh man. All right, here it is. Yeah. Oh my god, it looks awesome. Honestly. Bring this up full screen. Yeah. Come on. Poilievre, this is a fake populist. Breach Media did a good video on that too. Ooh, okay. We could probably check that out. Demand Better Entertainment. We just finished our Pierre Poilievre segment. I know that CUPE put out a big statement against him. COOP, as they're called. I think it's like the conservatives. Like, it's all the big wigs and the conservatives that got together and made a group and said, oh, here's our opinion. And I didn't read it. It seemed kind of dry and boring. We're switching on over to Senator Graham's bill to ban abortion across America. So that's a huge thing. And we're killing some time, or unaliving some time, excuse me, with some AI art for my upcoming album. And I think this is it, honestly. This looks so good. This looks so good. It's even got a fake signature at the bottom. But yeah, the statue's on fire. There's a bunch of smoke. The only thing that's missing is like that riot scene. So I'm wondering if I like get an artist to mix the crowd, grab this crowd. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's missing here. It's just a bit of the crowd element in the side, or the orator, like the poet that's there. You know what I'm saying? This looks pretty good though. I can see like be weird, tear down the statues, and then it's this, and yeah, I'm pretty happy about this. And then I think we had one last. Let's see if we got anything else out of it. It was like a variation that we're going to try to upscale. Let's take a quick look at that. Wow, I burned through that so fast. I think they gave you like maybe 20 images. That was like an hour of just like spamming. It's so cool though. Hey, where did it go? Where'd it go? Oh, that's quite the waste. Pixel art? Oh my god. Why would you do pixel art? Why would you do pixel art? It's in here somewhere. One more image, right? But I made it like a variation. Yeah, here it is. Oh, damn. I won't be able to upscale this. So we're out. Also, they don't look as good. They look kind of, what's the term? Brutalism? Like that style of architecture with the jagged edges. Like none of these inspires joy. The one with him like reading a book, maybe? No, I don't know. I think we got it. I think we got our image. That's it. That's the AI. That's the AI segment. That's it. That's all I got for artificial intelligence. Shit. We got probably some React content we could get into. How y'all feeling? Should we try to check out this Breach Media? Do we care? Pierre Poilievre? Let's see. It's got to be interesting though. "21 hours ago." Probably that. From the breach. I don't even know what the breach is. Let's figure that out first. The breach wiki. Cool. I'm so happy with this image. It looks so good. But I still think I'm gonna pay an artist. Right? Still get an artist to like remix it. Like this statue looks way cooler than this one. But the fire underneath it is way cooler than a monument. I don't really like this tower. It does show the city, but the books is a way better framing. Especially books that break into windows. Ooh, this should be like covered in windows. Maybe with people. Oh, maybe with people leaning out of the windows or something. And then, yeah, you need that semicircle. The red, the white, the sirens. Such an important feeling. People power. And this one still has all the smoke. And it being in a channel, I don't know, something about this shape is so bizarre. I love it. I don't know what it means, but it's good. Okay, so let's take a look at this breach video. It's pretty short. Should be okay. Man of the people. I'm betting that there's like a whole bunch of like content that is just like team sports stuff that I'm usually pretty bored by that kind of stuff. But anyways, let's give it a shot. I gotta go to the washroom. Maybe this is worth it. All right. Demand Better Media's reputation is on the line.
Pierre Poilievre bills himself a man of the people. There's a comfortable establishment.
Man of people. Let me just crank the volume. And make sure that you can hear it okay.
That sits on top and governs for itself.
Who's taking on the powerful.
We have a government of elites and self-serving snobs who look down on ordinary working class Canadians.
Standing up for the working class.
Why does the Prime Minister always take from the have-nots to give to the have-yachts?
With a penchant for speaking like a popular rebellion leader from 14th century England.
To bring the mighty low and make the commoners the masters over the crown.
Poilievre is tapping into anger at inequality and the soaring cost of living.
Shouldn't our working class be better off today than it was 40 years ago? This system is broken. It protects the privileged.
While pointing his finger at the ruling class that is responsible.
The elites in Ottawa are just beside themselves.
Smacks of the Davos elite at its worst.
We don't need elites. Elites.
There's just one hitch. Pierre Poilievre has spent his entire political career serving the very elites he vilifies. So what explains his approach? It's called fake populism. When politicians ride ordinary people's outrage against the establishment into office, then hand the keys to the 1%. But don't take my word for it. Poilievre has been consistently clear about his agenda since he was 16 years old.
If you want to know where I'm coming from, you have to know where I come from.
When most high schoolers were selling burgers, Poilievre was selling memberships for Jason Kenney and the Reform Party. He attended the University of Calgary, where he fell under the spell of Austrian philosopher Friedrich Hayek. Hayek's theory that the welfare state leads to totalitarianism has functioned as a high-minded justification for decades of social cutbacks and privatization across the world. At 19, Poilievre was a finalist in the As Prime Minister I Would essay contest.
We asked young Canadians between the ages of 18 and 25 why they should be Prime Minister.
Writing that he'd abolish a tax that primarily applies to the investments of the very rich.
The abiding issue, of course, is always keep my taxes low, keep my taxes low, taxes low.
In op-eds, he applauded Alberta Premier Ralph Klein and Treasurer Stockwell Day after they laid off thousands of teachers and nurses. Elected at 24 years old, he emerged within Stephen Harper's government as the leading enemy of workers' basic rights. He helped push legislation to make it more difficult for workers to unionize, to collectively negotiate, and to go on strike. The best tools they happen to have against elites and employers.
Union bosses, union bosses, union bosses.
When migrant workers brought in by the government to toil on Canada's farms and in seniors' homes faced deportation, Poilievre's response displayed his special brand of empathy. That's why they're called temporary foreign workers. Poilievre has such a distaste for Canada's universal social programs that he's suggested adopting economist Milton Friedman's proposal to replace the entire welfare state with a tiny survival stipend for all low-income people. This would involve eliminating all other programs, including housing, drug plans, childcare, and the bureaucrats who to administer it all. Massive tax cuts for the rich, suppressing workers' rights, and gutting social programs that ordinary Canadians depend on. It's not exactly the platform of a people's champion. Poilievre is hardly the first Canadian politician to use this strategy. He's learned from former Conservative premiers Ralph Klein and Mike Harris and Reform leader Preston Manning. All of them played outsiders preaching populism, then revealed themselves to be insiders delivering poverty.
His reputation as a friend of the working man grew with each glass of beer that was drunk.
Told myself I'd remember to unmute myself. Thank you. Classic streamer mistake. Thanks, Pat.
Nothing will change now.
All those good jokes I told. All the witties. All the witticisms.
He is a shambling,
Lost
everyman who was born to power on his ability to find the voters' buttons and push them. He is unprepossessing. Mike Harris is probably what he appears to be.
Why are you gonna make the rich richer?
Now they're just like
this is
throwing
always
headlines
how
at me.
fake populism works. Use working people to get into power, then kick them to the curb.
Yeah, I don't agree with this guy at all. Like, populism's kind of like an electoral strategy. And whether you fulfill those promises is sort of beside the point.
Fuck you guys.
You can be left wing or right wing.
A down-home uprising storming Parliament. If Pierre Poilievre can con his way into the Prime Minister's
See what
office,
they did there?
the
Con?
elite are gonna have a field day.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty lefty. Pretty lefty. But hey, they did some good job, like, curating some sources, so that's pretty sweet. We're getting ready for Senator Lindsey Graham to announce a federal ban on a bill to ban abortions. I am not excited. I am definitely not excited to see just how far it's going to go. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to ban it in all cases, regardless of instances of, you know, rape or incest, which... oh man, America. Oh man, I was having this conversation with my dad just a few years ago. You know, like they may come back, they may go after it. Okay, we've got some live comments from Trudeau about the rising cost of living. I actually do care about that. Let's see if it's good.
Premièrement, je pense que c'est important de souligner que le Canada a pris le leadership dans notre sanction contre la Russie. Le Canada était le premier pays du G7 de
I'll just translate for a bit.
Comprendre la réalité. Et c'est que, en ce qui concerne le commerce international, la Russie mérite être dans la même catégorie du Corée du Nord.
Wow. So Russia should be in the same category as North Korea. And Canada was the first of the G7 to come to that conclusion.
Mettre en place
This is our Minister of Finance,
régime du commerce international, le même qu'on a avec la Corée du Nord.
Wow.
On n'a pas maintenant avec la Russie le statut que tous les autres pays du monde ont. Et
Canada
en
doesn't have the same
ça,
relationship
le
with
Canada
Russia as the rest
à
of the world.
prendre le leadership pour tout le monde. Et je pense que tous les Canadiens sont pour un régime des fortes sanctions contre la Russie.
Canada wants strong sanctions against Russia.
Deuxièmement,
Secondly,
oui, notre régime de sanctions a des conséquences pour les
our
Canadiens.
regime sanctions
Mais nous
have
devons comprendre
consequences for
que
Canadians.
Si on regarde par exemple nos alliés en Europe,
If we look at our European
pour les
allies,
Européens
look at their
sont
consequences.
Much
Much
plus graves que les
worse
conséquences
than
pour
for
le
Canadians.
Canada. Et
Have some
je
perspective.
pense que quand on parle
Not
avec nos alliés en ce qui concerne les sanctions contre la Russie, on doit aussi être prêt à prendre une position ferme.
We have to be ready to take a
Comme
strong
le Premier
position.
ministre a dit, pour nous, les producteurs agricoles sont en priorité. Nous comprenons qu'ils sont très importants pour l'économie canadienne.
Agricultural producers are very important for our Canadian economy and for everyone.
Quand il y a un grand besoin des produits de notre producteur agricole. Alors,
Yeah,
on
there's
est
a big
toujours
demand for
prêt
like Canadian
à
wheat,
regarder les
instance.
enjeux spécifiques, les mesures spécifiques qu'on peut prendre pour aider les producteurs agricoles. Merci.
Okay. So that seemed to be like, what are the consequences of Russian sanctions?
Prime Minister, what's the size and makeup of the Canadian delegation traveling to London for the Queen's funeral? Will you be inviting opposition leaders like Pierre
Do we roll this
Poilievre?
back?
And on the 19th, will Canadians have a national holiday to mourn the Queen?
Discussions continue.
We'll listen to
be
questions and then roll it
ongoing,
back.
across government and with the UK government and the folks in charge. We have already engaged closely with all opposition leaders' offices around the plans as we are knowing them. We are working out the final delegation, which will become known in the coming days. We have also chosen to move forward with a federal holiday on Monday. We will be working with the provinces and the
Federal
territories
holiday?
to try and see that we're aligned on this. There are
Sorry?
still a few details to be
What?
worked out, but declaring an opportunity for Canadians to
Bro.
mourn on
No.
Monday is
No.
going to be important. So
Stop.
for our part, we will be
What?
letting
Federal
employees know
holiday?
that Monday will be a day of mourning.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my
Pour
God.
la taille et les détails de la délégation qu'on va amener à Londres, ces détails sont en train d'être fignolés, mais je peux vous assurer qu'on est en conversation avec tous les chefs des partis d'opposition pour voir quel rôle tout le monde peut avoir.
Oh man, the
pour
Alex
démontrer,
Jones trial is happening now too?
La solennité et l'importance du moment pour le
So
pays.
much is happening.
Et je peux vous informer que nous allions déclarer un jour férié fédéral. Lundi, on est en train de travailler avec les provinces et les territoires par rapport à leur perspective là-dessus. Chaque province va prendre ses décisions, mais nous annonçons que les employés du gouvernement fédéral vont avoir un congé pour pouvoir faire une journée de deuil pour Sa Majesté la Reine.
Okay, this might be way more entertaining.
People must be the scum of the earth, pulling a fraud off on the American people to take our rights away, these actors. They need to be exposed. And that's what started happening. You're going to see, days after the shooting, Alex Jones's listeners latched onto this. The harassment started. Funerals needed to have security.
Attorney for the plaintiff. It must be.
And you're going to see that 2 days after he publishes this video, one of the parents who lost his son, Leonard Posner, sends an email to InfoWars. I'm very disappointed to see how many people are directing more anger at families that lost their children in Newtown, accusing us of being actors. Haven't we had our share of pain and suffering? All these accusations of government involvement, false flag terror, New World Order. I used to enjoy listening to your shows prior to 12/14/12. Now I feel that your type of show created these hateful people.
Wow.
And they need to be reeled in. Alex Jones, never reeled in. You'll see that InfoWars top editor actually responded to this. They knew about the harassment that was happening. But the lie was too valuable to Alex Jones.
Woo!
Take a look at these numbers. From December to January, 38% increase in sessions, 36% increase in users.
Look at them numbers.
Increase of 43%. It was working. And as you know, the reason this matters so much is because this audience meant $signs for Alex Jones.
Yep. Cash money.
You'll see that over the years,
Wolfgang.
You'll see that over the years, Alex Jones had to keep the lie going. It's valuable to him. In 2014, this is 2014 now, a year and a half after, he started hitting a list of people to help him. This guy named Wolfgang Halbig on the show with Alex Jones. Wolfgang Halbig is a guy from Florida. Alex Jones had him on to say that Sandy Hook was a hoax, that it was an illusion pulled off by the Department of Homeland Security. You'll see Wolfgang Halbig coming repeatedly up to Connecticut. InfoWars would cover him. Alex Jones would send people to his website and ask them to support him financially. His website was filled with all sorts of hateful stuff harassing the parents. That's the kind of guy that was useful to Alex Jones. Dan Bidandi, an InfoWars reporter, former professional wrestler, came up to Newtown with Halbig. They sent him up here with the camera crew. You'll see him harassing people on the street, harassing town officials, saying that Sandy Hook was an inside job and that they were covering it up. So this is 2014. Now I'm not going to show you all the videos.
Just one moment, Attorney.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, man. Alex Jones, everybody. I could probably play the Alex Jones folk song. I could try to play that again. You want to hear a song? You want to hear the Alex Jones indie song?
You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. It's 2014. This is Alex Jones mocking the parents.
Oh, bro.
He's pretending to cry, just like he said they did.
Oh, no. Don't fake cry.
You got all these parents, not just one, but a bunch of parents, coming up laughing and doing the fake crying. And he had Wolfgang Halbig on to say that the FBI, actually InfoWars said this, and they just wanted Halbig on to talk about it. FBI had said nobody was killed in Sandy Hook. It's a lie. You'll see it. It's a lie. They admit it. Went into 2015. Alex Jones calling it a total hoax. How do you even deal with a total hoax? A simulation with actors. That's 3 years out. 3 years that these families now, having lost their children, their wife, their sister, their mom, dealing with this. 2016, this one, he says, is his final statement on Sandy Hook. It's not. And I want to be real clear here. If Mr. Jones had just stopped in December, a lot of the damage would have been done.
True.
Because he was sitting on that audience, and once you send that lie into the world, you ever heard that expression? A lie will make itself halfway around the world before the truth media gets its pants on?
Got his shoes on.
He kept going.
Around the world twice. I think
In
it's
this video, he says, but my heart does go out to the people I see on the news who say they're parents. The problem is, I've seen soap operas before.
Oh my god.
And I know when I'm watching a movie.
Oh,
and I know when I'm watching something.
Alex Jones.
And he looks into the camera and he goes, let's look into Sandy Hook.
Bro.
And you're going to hear evidence that that is a call to action.
Yep.
Let's investigate it. Let's look into these parents. Let's expose them for the flaws that they are.
Do things. It's just like the bomb scares that are happening at the Boston Children's Hospital.
Storm, 2017. Sandy Hook vampires exposed. Now we're going to present you with dozens of exhibits, but the reality is, of videos and articles, nobody knows how many times they publish this stuff. Even free speech systems, Infowars, they don't know.
Wow.
They didn't retain the videos.
Oh, dang.
This is Alex Jones in 2021. Saying maybe he was right all along. 2021. I want to take you through just one example. Just one example that you can see real clearly about how Alex Jones was cashing in on the misery that we suffered here. Remember the video I told you, the FBI says no one killed at Sandy Hook? All right, this is the article video. Now, most of the time, Alex Jones makes his money just by building audience over time. Sometimes something goes viral. Everybody knows what that means. This went viral. It was a lie. September 24th, 2014.
See, I've been just doing the build audience really slowly part instead of the viral part.
You can see he's selling DNA Force right next to it if you want to get that for 33%
Oh,
off.
yeah, DNA Force. DNA Force.
Well, we have data from Infowars for the period January 1st, 2012 through June 16th, 2019. All right, 6.5 years. All the articles they published on Infowars.com during that time. Thousands and thousands and thousands of articles. This article was the second most popular article landing page on the site during that entire time. What that means is people access the site directly to this article. Not the home page, not the videos page, directly to this article. 2.9 million people right on it. And what does that mean? Look at the spikes in traffic. You'll see, this is right over the weekend of September 24th. Bang! Unique visitors shoots up. Close to 2 million. Visits shoots up, over 2 million. Page views shoots up, between 3.5 million and 4 million. What does that mean to the bottom line?
Cash.
September 24th is the day he published the article. Now, this is just one of his sales platforms. Okay, I told you he's got a bunch of stores. This is just one. On September 24th, the day he publishes it, he brings in $48,000 on that day. Look at the next day. $232,000 in a day, just on that one platform. Then it drops off a little the next day, and September 26th, $128,000. Then it drops off again. What you're seeing there is the relationship between the lie, the audience, and the money he's raking. Now, $230,000 a day sounds pretty good. Wait until you hear what he was making just recently.
Oh my god.
So where was all this coming from? He talks about the audience that was growing. In 2014, the year that article went viral, this was his social media audience. 2.2 billion impressions on social media. Billion. This is in 2015. 2.9 billion. Facebook alone in 2016, 4.1 billion. And look at what happens. You're going to see this text message. This is the one I was telling you about. Jones wakes up just wondering how $sign we are. We ended up about 810,000 yesterday.
What?
One day. Do the math. It's going to take me a bit to calculate what percentage of that was food, but it's looking like 650 to 700,000 in food sales. We were already over 100,000 today at 6:45 this morning. Crazy. Now, you can probably remember what was happening in February 2020. Alex Jones and that fear was kicking in. But the audience that allowed him to deliver this kind of money into his pocket was built in the years before.
Yeah.
The audience that he built during his Sandy Hook campaign was paying off. Emoji, emoji, emoji.
Emoji, emoji, emoji.
In the years 2014 to 2016, 9.2 billion impressions on social media. 1.5 billion on YouTube. 2.95 billion on Infowars.com.
But we're also going to see if we can catch Late Term Abortions Act from Senator Lindsey Graham. Okay, I'll keep that in background while we watch this.
He started adding stuff to his platform, his empire. He added more websites, band.video, all the little video segments you could ever want. News Wars. Set it up as another website like Infowars. Infowars Europe. Wow. Alex Jones went international. He still had the Alex Jones show, and he added another show, The War Room. And of course, his social media presence, which we talked about, exploded. Those are all the social media platforms he was on. And every single platform that he was on, driving this message, sending out the word that these folks were frauds and actors, send them to a store. Infowars store, InfowarsLife.com. You can find his products on Amazon. You can find his products on eBay.
Really? Wow.
So we know what it meant to Alex Jones. You're going to see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah. So much money.
But what did it mean to these families? They were defenseless.
What do you do against that?
They woke up one day, they were just living their lives.
Yep.
Getting kids off to school, fixing lunches, going to work, coming home, letting the dog out, just like all of us. And it all stopped. It all stopped, and they were defenseless. They didn't have the platform that Alex Jones had. They didn't even know who Alex Jones was. But he knew who they were.
The Alex the who now?
His audience knew who they were.
That's scary.
And ask yourselves,
a million people know who you are.
When you're lost in grief, trying to find your way through it, trying to take care of the kids that you have left, or the siblings you have left, knowing that there's a whole army set loose by Alex Jones to believe that you're frauds, that you're an actor.
Internet soldiers.
That the child you spent so much of your life raising never existed at all. That the grief that's consuming you is all an act. They didn't have enough time with their family members. Nobody does, but what they have were memories. And Alex Jones turned those memories into a battleground. So to be ripped apart, defended. And we're going to ask you to consider. I'm going to ask you to consider all of that.
It's also not me
thinking about the type of harm and damage that they suffered. But here's the reality. None of them wanted to bring this lawsuit. They don't want to be here. We trust you to decide what's appropriate here, what justice is here, because you've been through tragedies and hardships in your own life. You know what it means. And we hope that your verdict is resounding enough to send a message you've been taken in by Alex Jones that they've been lied to. But the reality is that we're never going to put this lie totally back to the bottle.
Cat's out of the bag now.
We'll all be gone. That lie will still be out there. But somewhere out there right now is another family getting their kids ready for school, fixing their lunches, going to work, picking up their kid. And there's going to be a day when that child doesn't come home from school. And we know it, and it's sad, and that's reality. And the question is going to be, where is Alex Jones when that happens?
Right. Who's the next victim?
Is he in the studio? Getting ready to pounce?
Yikes.
Or will you stop him? That's going to be in your hands. And when we get all done with all the evidence, we're going to come back and we're going to ask this stuff. Because that's what justice is in this case. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, that must have been the opening argument.
Thank you, Judge.
Probably a brief recess. I would love to hear the opening argument of the defense attorney. Oh, look at this guy. He looks like such a hippie. He's even smiling. Oh, this is too good.
We live in times of political division. You know.
Political division.
You know. I know. One of the issues dividing us is guns.
Guns.
Their possession, their control, their use. Their divides are deep in this country right now, even dangerous.
The divides are deep.
Don't let anyone tell you that this trial is a means of stopping those divides, of discussing gun violence. We're not here to make political statements, to reform the world, to take a stand against extreme speech. This trial is not a cultural moment. It's not even about stopping Alex Jones.
What?
I was stunned to hear my adversary's opening statement.
Oh,
the
yeah.
judge told you why we're here. Hearing and damages. Liability's been determined. What can they prove, given what's reasonable? We went 15 minutes into the closing argument and heard a wholesale attack on Alex Jones, and you were asked to do something not related to your mission. Stop. It was 35 minutes in before the word, 35 minutes in before the word damages even arose. And then we'll trust you to give them damages, and their damages is stopping Alex Jones.
This argument's so bad.
Let me be bold here and to decide for you, or to ask you to decide for the millions of fools, the millions of deplorables, the millions of MAGA Republicans, what people can and can't watch in this country. They've transformed a hearing and damages. They've transformed money into a political weapon.
They're trying to censor Alex Jones.
We're going to ask you to disarm them.
You heard it here first.
We don't want you to do anything here but follow the law as the court instructs you on. That is your obligation. No more, no less.
You're trying to make it hurt so much it doesn't do anything.
Nothing from the judge about stopping Alex Jones.
Lol. The judge didn't say stop him.
You all remember, if you're old enough, where you were on December 14th, 2012? I'm aware. Maybe I was in a courtroom. Maybe I heard that and I thought, my God, what's become of our world? 20 children, 6 adults slaughtered by Adam Lanza.
Wait, what?
These are the names of the children killed.
Wait.
Jessica Rebos. You should pause and remember each of them. Olivia Engel. Avio Richard. Jesse Lewis. Grace Audrey McDonald. Noah Posner. Anna Marquez Green. Emily Parker. Charlotte Bacon. Catherine Hubbard. Josephine Gay. Daniel Barger. James Mattioli. Carolyn Pavetti. Allison Wyatt. Dylan Hockley.
They tried some money into a political weapon.
Chase Kowalski, Jack Pinzer.
My brother in Christ, money was a political weapon long before currency was even invented. Yeah, I know, right? Like diamonds and gold, if not money. Like, come the fuck on.
Benjamin Wheeler. Those are 20 young lives wiped out for no reason at all.
My brother in Christ, Jesus flipped the tables of the money changers.
On December 14th, 2012. Each had parents and families who loved them. Each victim is missed, loved, and mourned, I'm sure, to this very day. But that's not why we're here. The adults killed that day. Victoria Soto, age 27. Lauren Russo, age 30. Dawn Hawksworth, 47. Mary Sherlock, 56. Rachel Davino, 29. Anne-Marie Murphy, 52. Those are the 6 adults senselessly killed at Sandy Hook that day. We're not here for that. Each of them had families. Each of them, I'm sure, are mourned to this very day.
What is this argument?
Each of them. The plaintiffs in this case, not all the families and members of those victims chose to be here today. 14 family members representing children and adults, 4 children and 3 adults chose to be here. An FBI agent chose to be here. Parents or parents of Emily Parker are here. Parents or parents of Daniel Barden are here. Parents or parents of Dylan Hockney are here. Parent or parents of Benjamin Wheeler are here. Members of Victoria Soto's family is here. A member of Dawn Hawksbrook's family is here. A member of Mary Sherlock's family is here. And of course, a retired FBI agent is here.
What is this argument?
2 other children's parents brought suits elsewhere on another day. All assert that Alex Jones caused them grave harm. Their lawyers are here to prove that to you. Grave harm doesn't mean stopping Alex Jones. Our suggestion is you stop Alex Jones and do a graver harm to the Republic.
Really?
Your job is to decide if Mr. Jones.
You can trade products and services for favors, and even then, people politicized within their tribes and shit. Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
In other words, we claim that their claims
Such
are
a bad
exaggerated.
argument. He's off to a really bad start.
And if they can prove to you that he's caused them all the harm they claim, then give them a sum that compensates for them, not for that.
It's literally, I thought this was America.
They've suggested your job is to punish Alex Jones, and you won't hear that from the judge. They hate him because he says outrageous things, and the haters want him silenced. Each of you has chosen to be here today to compensate them for their grief, and you're being asked to make an example of Alex. Money is their weapon.
Lindsey Graham might be taking the stage soon.
Award enough.
Yeah. There he is. Okay.
Senator Graham said the air condition must be broken. Didn't pay the bill. But thank you for joining us. I'm the MC, not the one in charge. Senator Graham is that. And he has some important things to say about the bill that you have just hopefully read, at least some of it, to get the gist. He'll tell you more. I want to thank you, Senator Graham, for being the human being that you are, looking out for the little guys. After Senator Graham speaks, I'll say a couple of things. Then Carol Tobias at National Right to Life, Catherine Foster at Americans United for Life, Jeannie Mancini, March for Life, Star Parker, Urban Cure, and Penny Nance, Concern Women for America. And then Senator Graham will answer questions from reporters.
Thank you all. Welcome, ladies. So this makes me look better already. So we're trending in the right direction. I just went from a big tech hearing to little babies. That's what I like about my job.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
What do you do about Twitter? What do you do about the unborn? That's why
Oh,
I like the job so
my
much.
God.
So here's what I think we will be doing about the unborn. We will
Such a corporate
introduce
suit.
legislation, I, along with a lot of my colleagues, to basically get America in a position at the federal level I think is fairly consistent with the rest of the world. Can we?
No, it's not.
We have
I don't even know what
charts.
you're going to say, but I know it's
Shows
not
you how
consistent with the rest of the
serious we
world.
are. All right. 15 weeks. A baby's at the 15-week period. What does that mean? Well, it means if you're going to operate on the baby, which happens, to save the child's life, to provide medical treatment, the standard practice in medicine is to provide anesthesia. Now, why would you do that? You provide anesthesia because the science tells us at the 15-week period, the nerve endings of the baby are pretty well developed and the child feels pain. So here's our point, that if you have to provide anesthesia to keep the baby from feeling pain to help save its life, should we as a nation be aborting babies that can feel excruciating pain from an abortion? Here's what I think.
Excruciating.
I think we should have a law at the federal level that would say after 15 weeks, no abortion on demand, except in cases of rape, incest, to save the life of the mother. And that should be where America's at. And what would that mean if we
First
adopted
trimester.
that position? The next chart. Where are the chart people?
They're knocking it down from second trimester to first trimester.
If we adopted my bill, our bill, we would be in the mainstream of most everybody else in the world.
Yeah, I'd like to
I think
abort
there
it from
are
the U.S.
47 of the 50 European countries have a ban on abortion from 12 to 15 weeks. And I picked 15 weeks, which is a little longer than Belgium, Germany, and Spain, longer than France, Denmark, and Norway. Now, why did I do that?
France.
Because I feel comfortable at 15 weeks, the science tells us that the nerve endings are developed to the point that the unborn child feels pain. So the theory of the case here is not to be like Europe so much, is to have a standard in America that would prohibit abortions during the birthing process at a stage where it's pretty clear from the science and most of the world, this should be a no-go.
The reference to France, like that law is 50 years old.
Unless there's some extraordinary
But he is
reason.
accurate.
So we will be introducing this bill as of like right now.
Fuck.
People will join. I hope it will be bipartisan. And we will have a debate, if we're allowed to bring it up, as to why we're doing what we're doing. Abortion is a contentious issue. Post-Dobbs, America's got to make some decisions. And the first thing I would say about the Dobbs decision is that abortion's not banned in America. It's left up to elected officials in America to define the issue. You have states have the ability to do it at the state level.
Yeah, you said that was
and
A-OK.
we have the ability in Washington to speak on this issue if we choose. I have chosen to speak.
If you choose.
I've chosen to
stop using that word.
craft legislation that I think is eminently reasonable in the eyes of the world, and I hope the American people. At 15 weeks, pretty much strong majority of Americans believe abortion should be the exception, not the rule. Now, my bill follows my Democratic colleagues' attempt to define abortion at the federal level. So right after the repeal of Roe v. Wade, my Democratic colleagues introduced legislation in Washington to create a national standard. They have every right to do so. So they chose to do that. And here's what they chose.
He's like, their bill failed, now it's my turn.
They chose a bill that allows late-term abortion virtually up to the point of birth. They chose a bill that would repeal at the state level virtually all pro-life protections passed at the state level. They chose a bill that would not put us in the mainstream of the world, but put us in a group of 7 nations that allow abortion on demand pretty much up to the point of birth, like North Korea, Iran, and a few others. About 10% of Americans support abortion, late-term abortion, like the Democratic bill. So my legislation, our legislation, is a counter to their proposal. I hope we get to debate on it and vote on it. They had a chance to vote on their bill. I'm asking for a chance to vote on my bill, and I'm hoping that the more we talk about this issue and what we're trying to accomplish at the federal level, we can rally the public nationally to put our country in better standing, to realize that there's no real, we're not a better nation here, aborting babies at 15 weeks who can feel excruciating pain unless there's a real extreme exception, that we would be in the company of most civilized nations, would get out of the club of 7, like our Democrat colleagues would put us into. So we're going to have an election in 2022. The inflation report today was, in my view, bad news for the American consumer, because inflation's not getting better anytime soon. In fact, it's going to get worse. Crime is on the rise. We have a broken border. But having said all that, the abortion issue in America has always been part of our political discourse. It will continue to be. And this is my position at the federal level, that we should reject the most radical bill I've ever seen, introduced by Senator Schumer and his colleagues, that will allow abortion up to the moment of birth. That is extreme in every fashion, and we should be talking about
driven by the science, not your
for the
political
nation
views.
as a whole that would put us in line with the science and the civilized world. So I look forward to the debate. I look forward to the vote. If we take back the House and the Senate, I can assure you we'll have a vote on our bill. If the Democrats are in charge, I don't know if we'll ever have a vote on our bill. Thank you.
Politician speaking medicine. Yeah. Yeah, we trust the Republicans
Thank you,
with
Senator
medicine.
Graham.
medical decisions.
So for 50 years, we have been fighting for the moment that we could allow the will of the people of this nation, state by state and on the federal level, to make its way into the law on this issue that has divided us for 50 years, polarized our politics, has made consensus building impossible.
Polarized your politics.
And so when we began,
you did it on
June
purpose.
24th of this year was the first day of building that consensus. Europe had that privilege. Every nation state had that
For
privilege.
people who know their history, political history, like Republicans literally chose this as an issue. It was like a issue non grata. Nobody cared about this. They made it into one because they knew it could get people into their side, and now they're bringing it all the way around, saying, "Oh, this is such a political issue. We need to depoliticize it." It's like, oh my God, you guys ran a 40-year campaign on this thing.
Clear, and that is that our opponents in Senate battlegrounds and House battlegrounds and the Democratic leadership of this body is not interested at all in consensus. They're not interested in the democratic process. They are interested in imposing one view, a 10% view on the rest of the country. And once again, wiping laws off the books that are beginning to build that consensus in states. If you're a pro-American and you're pro-democracy, then you got to be for allowing the will of the people to make its way into the law. 75% of women, according to the Harvard-Harris poll recently, support this bill. So this idea that somehow women's rights demand 100% abortion up into the end, denying the instinct of mothers and the instinct of any civilized society, is just plain wrong. It's women's rights can never be built on the broken rights of other people. So 75% sounds about right in this country.
Dobbs is opposed by a slim majority, 55 to 45%. Do you think your state should allow abortion up to 9 months? 10%. Up to 23 weeks? 18%. Up to 15 weeks? 23%. Up to 6 weeks? 12%. So the up to 15 weeks is like, what, 40% max? She's lying to you.
Thank
Just
you.
straight lying
and
about this.
Next is Carol Tobias.
Jeez.
Thank you, Marjorie. I am Carol Tobias. I'm the president of the National Right to Life Committee. And I am here to express our strong support for the Protecting Pain
To this bill, apparently, that they just announced
Unborn
now.
Children
Like,
from Late-Term
it's all
Abortions
lies.
Act.
They keep focusing on the late-term abortion when it's just such a small fraction. What are they doing for women's health?
We commend Senator
Controlling
Lindsey
it.
Graham and Congressman Chris Smith for
Criminalizing it.
reintroducing this legislation.
Creating a problem and then solving it.
This very reasonable bill, would protect unborn children at 15 weeks.
Unborn
a point
children,
which
everybody.
Science shows that the unborn child is capable of
Stop
feeling
calling it
great
that.
pain
The fetus.
when killed by dismemberment or other late abortion methods.
Late abortion methods, like 9 months, you
It
psycho.
stands in stark contrast to the Democrats' support of radical legislation like the so-called Women's Health Protection Act.
Yeah, man, there's
the
already
WHPA
women who've been
would
arrested.
establish abortion on demand with no limits throughout pregnancy as federal law. While proponents of the WHPA claim the bill would codify Roe v. Wade, don't be fooled. It goes much, much further. Reasonable limits, such as parental consent or women's right to know laws, which were possible under Roe v. Wade, would not be allowed under the WHPA. In addition,
I don't know, because
tax
apparently
dollars would flow throughout
they've lost so much wind in their sails politically for going down this road. I can't believe they're doubling down on it. All the women standing
about
there.
a law banning abortion after
Traitors.
15 weeks of pregnancy,
I don't know,
except in
ma'am.
the case of medical emergency. Would you favor or oppose that in your state? Of those responding, 54% favored such a law and only 41% opposed. Disregarding
cite the
the
source.
will of the American people, the only thing the Democrats are offering to this country is more babies killed by abortion.
Yeah, you see how the language is slipping already? Now we're killing babies. You see how that happened?
The findings in this legislation, clearly footnoted, provide detailed information about the development of the unborn
liars.
child and the ability of that child to feel pain. I encourage all legislators, Republican and Democrat, to support this very modest,
Oh
very
yeah, baby.
humane proposal.
They think all abortions are murder. That's the underlying thought, and that's why like you're seeing crazy laws in the states.
I'm Catherine Glenn Foster, President and CEO of Americans United for Life. We work with advocates and lawmakers to advance the human right to life in culture, law, and policy. The Supreme Court has finally reversed Roe v. Wade, and we celebrate that important step. but
tarnish
it is
the
only
reputation.
a step.
Hocus Scotus.
We're at an inflection point in American history. We're at this turning point in
Sure
the cause
are.
for the human right to life.
You
And the
are.
Supreme Court righted its historic wrong in
Oh.
Roe. But the tragic effects of Roe and the deadly consequences of the Supreme Court's jurisprudence
I'm very
remain
annoyed
with
too,
us
Bunch Drunk.
today. When Roe was imposed in 1973, virtually no one believed that the Constitution contained any right to abortion, and virtually no state permitted abortion in any circumstance. Today, more than 24
What the hell does that mean?
embrace nearly unlimited abortion.
Unlimited
Why?
abortion?
Because the law is a teacher, and the states and the American people took seriously the wrong-headed lessons of Roe v. Wade.
This is really
Americans
dumb.
in too
This
many
is super
states have
dumb.
been taught that unlimited, extreme, pro-abortion laws are not simply worth defending, but even worth celebrating. So Roe is gone, but its consequences live on.
Why are they celebrating?
In Dobbs, the Supreme Court handed
What could they be
authority over
celebrating?
abortion to lawmakers to protect human life.
Those stupid lemmings.
Today, we take that next step in the cause for the human right to life. We must enshrine authentic and life-giving law and policy
barely
that moves
understands
us
her own
closer
arguments.
to liberty and justice for all.
Oh my God, what nonsense.
We're here today to advance a law that will protect the lives of millions of Americans yet unborn. And we're here today because we know that America should join our international peers, aligning our laws with at least our European peers, where abortion is widely prohibited at 15 weeks or even earlier. To achieve a brighter American future,
Something's
a future
suspicious
full of
about
hope,
that.
we must achieve consensus on the common sense of pain-capable protections for American children, and we must
Pain-capable.
enshrine in law protection for our most vulnerable citizens. I am proud to stand alongside Senator Lindsey Graham and every friend of life in Congress ready to take this
Friend of
important
life.
step today.
We got the friend
I
of
know
life
that
star.
together we will fight and we will
That's
win
how we know we're
in
the good guys.
continuing war for the heart and the soul of America.
War. We're at
Americans
war
are ready for a
for life.
pro-life future.
Pro-life.
Americans will see and remember the courage of
Scary,
every
man.
member of Congress
These
willing
people
to
scare me.
step up and protect America's youngest persons. Let's get it done. Thank you.
Youngest persons. Like, does, like, it all
Good afternoon.
coherent
I'm Jeannie Mancini.
language
I'm honored
out
to
the
be
window.
president of the March for Life.
Fuck it.
And today I
Just make
speak
up
on
words
behalf
now.
of the collective millions of Americans who've marched for life over the last 50 years to get to this day. To get to the day
caught the
where
car, everybody.
Roe is overturned, but to get to the second phase, I would
Oh,
say,
they're
of
not
building
done?
a culture of life in the
Oh,
United
they're not
States of
done.
America.
They're not
We're
done.
so
They
very
need a
grateful
culture
to
of
Senator
life.
Graham for introducing the
It's
Protecting
not a death
Pain
cult.
Capable
It's not a death
Unborn
cult,
Children
everybody.
from Late-Term
They
Abortion
love
Act. So
life.
thank you.
They
Now, I
love
do
it.
want to say this. This act
want
provides
your
the
life.
bare minimum protections for vulnerable unborn children, consistent with what we know about late-term abortion from science, as well as we've already
protects
heard where
women?
Americans stand
Oh, they don't
on
care.
the issue.
They don't care if you
So to
die. They
flip
want that life.
10%,
It's theirs. They want it.
Statistic that we keep hearing about.
They'll adopt your
90%
baby.
of Americans, to be clear, reject the view that abortion should be legal up until birth. 90% of Americans reject the view that abortion should be legal up until birth, which is
No
what the
citation.
Women's Health Protection Act stood for.
No citation.
Politicians voting against
Makes
this
up a number.
bill will stand not only against science, but they will stand against the American public. Not to mention standing against basic compassion for women and unborn children. Let me say that one more time.
Unborn children.
Politicians
Fetuses.
voting against this bill will stand against science and against the American public, not to
You notice
mention
how they're
basic
not
compassion for women
saying
and
scientific
babies.
things? They're just saying science.
The pro-life movement is defined
Life,
by
God,
compassion
love,
for women
science,
and babies. That is
compassion,
what we are about. It is
women.
our heartbeat.
So empty.
We have our work cut out for us at this particular day and age. And at the March for Life, we work for the day when abortion is unthinkable. But in this day, with this bill, we will work to protect the unborn, women, and families. The humanity of the unborn child is undeniable, particularly at 15 weeks. The U.S., as we've heard, is
see
one
how
of just a handful of countries,
they're
including
moving
China and North
the-
Korea, that allow
the
this
goalposts
gruesome
semantically?
late-term elective abortion.
Now it's humanity.
This late. In this heated environment, we challenge all elected officials on both sides of the aisle to bring the country together in
this
common sense
heated
consensus.
agenda, we're at
unity,
war for life.
protecting the vulnerable unborn children who can feel pain. We at the March for Life will continue to rally the pro-life grassroots to help make this act that would protect the most vulnerable among us, a law. Thank you.
Always think of the children, eh? And it's not even think of the children, it's think of the pre-children.
Hello, I'm Star Parker, president of the Center for Urban Renewal and Education, also known as curepolicy.org.
Wow,
and
that's
I want to thank Senator
innocuous.
Graham for introducing
Very
this
innocuous.
life-affirming legislation, and note how favorably it contrasts with pro-abortion bills in the House and in the Senate. The Supreme Court's Dobbs decision returned abortion policy to the democratic process. And while they claim to be proponents of democracy, President Biden and congressional Democrats are pushing legislation that would override every law, every regulation that
Pushing
limits
legislation?
abortion at any and all points in practice.
You're contradicting yourself in your sentence. Thank goodness SCOTUS gave it back to the people, and how dare they try to pass a law? What the fuck are you even saying?
Pregnancy. Their sweeping so-called health exception empowers an abortionist to kill humanity in the womb through all 9 months of pregnancy.
What are you saying,
abortion
lady?
Bills being pushed by Democrats explicitly override the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, removing a conscious protection for doctors and nurses to not perform abortion, and they shamefully inject racial allegations to slander the entire pro-life community.
Bro.
How extreme have Democrats become that they do not
Are the
believe
allegations
doctors
true?
and nurses should be protected in law to not perform abortion against their will? The House legislation and original
Perform abortion against their will? That's what you're on about?
Senate bill link pro-life Americans
Oh
to
my God.
systems of oppression, white supremacy, anti-black
Yeah.
racism,
What do you think's going on, lady?
allegations that are disgraceful and would be laughable.
Bro, black ladies saying, how dare they say the medical system's racist? Are you hearing this?
When you consider that the largest abortion provider in America, Planned Parenthood, was founded by a eugenicist. And since Roe became national law, more
That's
than 20
awesome.
million blacks have died at the hand of abortionists. And Democrats
This
want
is
to interject
wild.
race?
Wild
These
shit.
divisive tactics of
Abortion
race
is now
baiting
murder.
in an attempt to codify
They haven't even made that
abortion into
argument.
national law are offensive and should be rejected. And curepolicy.org stands with the entire pro-life community and with Senator Graham as we together affirm the first right recognized in our Declaration of Independence, the right to life. Thank you.
Yeah, it's come together, and can't we heal the nation?
I'm Penny Nance,
Says some
I'm the CEO
crazy
and
shit.
president of Concerned Women for America.
Concerned
We're the nation's
Women.
largest women's public policy organization. We have about 500,000 members around the country.
Bro,
we have
I do
chapters
not
in
trust you.
every single state, including
come off so
150
rich.
collegiate Young Women for America chapters.
She
We were
was born
so
wealthy.
honored to stand in front of the Supreme Court on June 24th when the Dobbs decision was favorably decided. So thank you so much, Senator Graham, for allowing me to be here. And I just want to call attention to my pro-life sisters standing behind me. This is the leadership of the pro-life movement.
Yo,
Recognize
female misogynist,
that.
man.
Take a moment
Female
to absorb
misogynist,
that.
not even once.
American women
The worst.
are leading on the issue of life. And recognize this bill, frankly, doesn't go far enough for many people. But it is a consensus
Nothing satisfies the Christian nationalists in America. Nothing
piece of
satisfies them.
legislation. Frankly, a very low bar. Consistently since 1973, Americans have supported prohibiting abortion late term, consistently at around the 70% mark.
Third
That is
trimester. Talk
still
like a
true
normal
today
person.
And was the case.
What? Babies don't have a loading bar. We divided into 3 trimesters, you fool.
Circa 1973.
Jesus.
Recognize that there's a reason why Europe has been more conservative than the United States on this. Because at 15 weeks, a little baby girl can feel pain. She
I
can
know.
move
They
her
wanna go so
fully
far.
formed fingers and her toes. She can suck her thumb. And she has a fully developed heart that is pumping 26 quarts of blood per day.
What?
This is a human life that deserves our protection, is worthy of civil rights protections.
But not the woman that is currently, raising that child? Like, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. Who's pumping that? What blood? The baby didn't get the blood from itself. You
And so we're
troglodyte?
joining together here to say, let's make that
Jesus.
case. Let's have a vote.
I can't even
on this
understand their
issue.
point of view.
Let's find out where the
It's so
American
dumb.
people stand on this issue. And so my full remarks will be on concernedwomen.org, but so much was said here today. I just wanted to stand here in agreement.
They're concerned, everybody.
And in unity with my sisters, and thank you, Senator Graham, for allowing us to be here.
That was such every one of them was infuriating.
The quality of this news conference will get worse now that I'm speaking. I'm just honored to be with you, ladies. You're okay there. I'm honored to be with you. There's a narrative forming in America that the Republican Party and the pro-life movement is on the run. No. We're going nowhere. We welcome the debate. We welcome the vote in the United States Senate as to what America should look like in 2022. Should we look like Iran and North Korea when it comes to national abortion policy, or maybe France, Belgium, Germany, Spain, Denmark, and Norway?
What about Canada?
If you vote with us, then we'll look more like these countries.
Look at Canada?
If you vote with the Democrats, we'll look more like Syria.
We're on the
and
same
North
continent.
Korea and Iran.
How about Mexico?
So this is an important moment for the country.
America's so weird.
All I ask of my Democratic colleagues is to give us the same courtesy you chose for yourself. You chose to vote on your bill. That's the most radical piece of legislation I think I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, not the legislation to overturn the election.
That would allow abortion up to the time of birth. That would overrule every pro-life protection that had been acknowledged by the law after Roe, to wipe the state clean and come up with the most extreme position that I just think does not make America a better place. So let's have the debate. Let's vote. To the ladies behind me, your organizations have much to be proud of.
You're so conceited. You're
while
like
Roe v. Wade being repealed,
not
is a
even
step
worried
in
if their
the right
argument makes
direction
sense.
for me and
Yeah,
others
I'm
in
pretty
elected
pissed.
office to give us a voice we've never had. It's also a step
Don't
in
like
the
our
right
socialized
direction
healthcare? Yeah.
for the American people to figure out among themselves in different parts of the country how to do this.
Did I give a trigger
As a
warning?
nation as a whole, who do we want to be? Here's what I want. I want to be a nation as a whole that recognizes that 15 weeks, the baby feels pain, that to save the
Not a lot of
baby's
time.
life, you have to provide anesthesia because you don't want to hurt the baby in the process of saving its life.
Who can get a doctor's
And
appointment
we
in
are
3
not
months?
a better nation by dismembering that child.
Usually 2 months.
Through the abortion process. So let's have the debate. Let's vote.
Senator Graham, thank you for taking my question. On May 3rd, after the initial Dobbs opinion was leaked, you stated that the repeal of Roe v. Wade would mean that every state will decide if abortion is legal and on what terms. And you said
He
that
said,
that
"Let the
was
states
most
decide."
Constitutionally sound way
Mhm.
of dealing with the issue. And here you are introducing a nationwide 15-week
Yeah.
limit. I'm wondering how you square those two statements.
Pretty easy. After they introduced the bill to define who they are, I thought it'd be nice to introduce a bill to define who we are.
Oh,
So
okay.
the Democrats wanted a national standard, and their standard was basically
He's right.
abortion up to the
He's
time
playing
of
a really
birth,
dangerous game.
putting you in the Iran-Syria club.
Don't underestimate him.
So now we're going to talk about what the nation should be like.
Referring to
I've
Europe,
introduced
15 weeks.
this bill, and I'm ready to debate it and vote on it.
Senator Graham, why have you changed from previously supporting a 20-week ban to now a 15-week ban?
The Supreme Court case dealt with the Mississippi case. So the Supreme Court ruled the 15-week proposal in Mississippi passed its muster, and I
Passed the
adjusted
muster.
accordingly. And quite frankly, I probably didn't know that we're a little to the left of France. I mean, generally speaking, being as bold as the French is probably a good thing. So we're a little less bold than the French on this issue.
Yeah, don't want to be like
but
Iran
I feel
and
like
Syria.
we're on solid ground, ladies. I know
The Muslims.
I know many would like to do more.
North Korea,
but,
the
you know, This
dictators.
is a reasonable position. The science is with us here. There's really no scientific debate at
Nothing.
15 weeks.
Not a single thing they said sounded scientific. They literally just used the word science.
Europe, that the baby feels pain, and that's one of the
Over and over
principles of
again.
this.
Science.
Yes, sir.
How do you get to a Senate where there are 60 votes for a bill like this?
I don't know how they were
Good
going to
question.
get to 60 on their bill, but I think we'll do better than they did. I think there are a couple Democrats that will be with us, maybe, hope, pray, right? I think the public's with us, and Lacey Peterson law, remember that? That took like 15 years. So it took 50 years to get to where we're at today. So I think you start the discussion, and it has started right now. There's a discussion going on in America about abortion. We're not afraid to talk about it. We're proud to be pro-life. We're not going to apologize to anybody about being pro-life. We respect people who disagree with us. We just want to vote. We want to have the discussion. We want to have votes. And here's what I think over time. The more people know about what we're trying to do, they're going to be with us and not the radical position proposed earlier on. Got 2 more questions. Yeah.
There are indications that after Roe was put down, that it's increased turnout on the Democratic side. Are you at all concerned that introducing this bill and reducing the threshold from 20 weeks to 15 weeks could exacerbate that?
I think if you're running for the United States Senate,
Will there be a
and you're
political
asked,
backlash?
if you went to Washington and there was a bill that would limit abortion after 15 weeks because the baby can feel pain at that point in time, and that is a little more liberal than what the Europeans do, that might be a good discussion for the voters to engage in. So what we're going to be doing.
Wow. First thing I find is that yeah, I don't think this is true.
During
what they're saying is true.
Process of running for federal office in the House and the Senate, I'm sure this will come up. And what I'm trying to tell my colleagues, that there is a consensus view by the most prominent pro-life groups in America that this is where America should be at the federal level. I don't think this is going to hurt us. I think we'll more likely hurt them when they try to explain
to measure pain
to some reasonable person why it's okay to be more like Iran and less like France on abortion.
They're making it up.
When President Biden's spokeswoman, Jen Psaki, was asked whether Biden believes a 15-week-old unborn baby is a human being, she dodged the question. Is there any doubt that a 15-week-old unborn baby is a human being?
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that a 15-week unborn baby has a developed heart.
Dodges the question.
When you have a soul, if you have one, that's
one
of the great
of course.
mysteries. We can
We're
talk
the good
about
guys.
when do you become
We're
you,
against the
at
baby
what point in
killers and the
time,
groomers.
do you become who you are? We're trying to basically normalize America here. Other countries have
Dodging the
concluded,
question.
for whatever reason, that at this point, like 12 weeks and 14 weeks, the baby's well developed enough that you would basically limit abortion to exceptionally rare circumstances. We think that analysis is right, and I would urge President Biden to take a look at this and see if we can work together to get America where most people in the world are. Yeah.
I was wondering if you've spoken with your other colleagues about this bill and if you've read it by Senator McConnell as well.
I have spoken to my colleagues. I think the ladies behind me are going to speak to my colleagues. I think they will be listened to. And this took a lot of effort, right, guys? And anybody want to say anything, jump in. I mean, we have made a decision as a group here. We've worked too hard, too long to just say, okay, it's over. It's not over. It's not over, right? You got issues at state level, got issues at the federal level. We're trying to pick a position we think will rally the country to be more sympathetic to the unborn child. And I am confident that if this bill came to the floor, it would get a lot of support among Republicans and hopefully a handful of Democrats. And I make a prediction. If we stay on this and keep talking about it, maybe less than a decade from now, this will be law. One more question.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, have y'all spoken to him?
I can't hear that.
Yeah, they spoken to him. Yeah.
Spoke to who?
No, I like Mitch, but
Mitch McConnell.
no, I just sort of like spoke to the ladies behind me, and they said, "Would you go from 20 to 15 weeks?" I said, "Yeah," and here we are. Thank y'all very, very much.
Anomaly that would make him compatible life in 16 weeks. I had regular appointments, I did everything right, and at 16 weeks we found out that our son would likely not
Yep.
live. When he was born, he lived for 8 days.
Yeah.
He bled from every orifice of his body, but we were allowed to make that choice for him.
Yes, ma'am.
You would be robbing that choice from those women. What do you say to someone like me?
Here's what I would say. The world pretty much has spoken on this issue. The developed world has said at this stage into the pregnancy, the child feels pain, and we're saying we're going to join the rest of the world and not be like Iran. As to your particular case, there'll be exceptions for life of the mother and rape and incest. But, well, ma'am, there were 55,000 abortions.
No exceptions in this bill?
After the 15-week period. And I think we're resolved to get America back in line with the rest of the world, and we won't know where America is until we vote, until we debate. And so to my Democratic friends, you're going around calling all of us every name you can think of.
Like,
we're a bunch of wackos.
Yeah.
Your idea is wacko, not ours. Let's vote. Let's vote.
No
Give me a
votes after
chance
15.
to vote on this bill.
And she's like, the
We'll
kid,
take her consideration.
kid wouldn't have survived, would have bled from every orifice.
Have a debate on the floor of the United States Senate where we
found
can
out at
explain what
16
we're doing versus what they would do. We'll do really well with the American people. And over time,
He's not wrong on this point. but he's a
God
piece of shit.
willing, we're going to be like the rest of the world and not like Iran at the federal level when it comes to abortion. We're going nowhere. Thank you very much.
Yo, kudos to that woman who challenged him because she put it to him pretty direct. What if I find out at 16 weeks that I'm gonna, like, it's gonna be a psychotic nightmare situation? Well, no, I don't know, get fucked.
Yeah, can you tell me again? Oh, okay, gotcha.
Probably know that one better, but we're saved me.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
I just wanted to introduce
That was really
myself.
intense.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Is this background chatter?
I don't have any on me.
Okay, that was intense. That was pretty intense. Holy cow. All right, this stream is going good, and I'm interested in the Alex Jones stuff. But it's almost 1 o'clock, and I have a huge amount of homework to do. So I hate to say it, everybody, but I think that's going to be the end of the stream. But thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks so much, Carol, for resubscribing. I did not set any fires on today, but hopefully I lit a fire in your heart. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, same time, 9 a.m. If the news is not insane, maybe we'll do some music, and probably this Sunday I should try to work out the poetry, maybe a Cypher Sunday, see if that's going to be a good segment. Otherwise, thanks so much for hanging out. Thanks for supporting the stream. I'll see you on the internets around. I'll see you later. Au revoir. À la prochaine. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.